azure-robed, honored one continued. Tomorrow, each of you will enter a trial space. Our virtual universe company has prepared over 1 million trial spaces, one for each individual. Within these trial spaces, there exist 7 trial towers, each comprising 7 levels. A colossal virtual projection materialized in the sky, vividly revealing 7 towering trial towers that pierced the clouds. Each tower resembled a monumental peak, cloaked in an obsidian hue, exuding an ancient and frigid aura. Arranged sequentially from the first to the 7th, each tower loomed larger and more daunting than the last. Commence your trials at the first tower. After conquering all 7 levels of the initial tower, proceed to the second, until you either perish or are expelled from the trial space. The voice of the Nine-Sword Sovereign remained gentle, yet the content of his words carried a chilling cruelty. Points would be calculated based on your performance within the trial space, with a detailed scoring system manifesting. At the first trial tower, one could earn up to 10,000 points per level, totaling a maximum of 70,000 points for all 7 levels. The second tower offered a potential 100,000 points per level, culminating in 700,000 points. The third tower allowed for 1 million points per level, with a possible total of 7 million points. The fourth tower presented 10 million points per level, leading to a maximum of 70 million points. The fifth tower enabled a staggering 100 million points per level, reaching a total of 700 million points. The sixth tower offered 1 billion points per level, culminating in an astonishing 7 billion points. Lastly, the 7th tower could yield 100 billion points per level, with a maximum of 700 billion points. As the figures of potential points skyrocketed, all the prodigies inhaled sharply in astonishment. 700 billion points? How could that possibly be attainable? The opponents within all trial towers, in terms of quantity and strength, remained identical. The Nine-Sword Sovereign elucidated, the sole distinction lies in their power. The further you progress into the trial towers, the more formidable the Guardians become. Should you find yourself unable to surpass the next level, you may opt to remain at your current level, striving to vanquish more foes and accrue additional points. However, be warned, death signifies the end of your trial. Ultimately, rankings would be determined based on points. The top 100, along with the first-place winner, would be directly absorbed as core members by our virtual universe company, securing 100 coveted spots. The voice of the Nine-Sword Sovereign resonated clearly in everyone's ears, igniting fervent excitement in the eyes of the leading prodigies. Immediate advancement. What an irresistible temptation. The contenders ranked from 101st to 7,300 would engage in a decisive battle to vie for the remaining 900 places. As for those beyond the 7,300, the Nine-Sword Sovereign paused slightly, his tone still gentle as he declared the fate of the vast majority. All would be eliminated. A wave of suppressed unrest surged among the 1 million talented individuals below. 1 million, yet only 7,300 would be chosen. This meant that over 99% would face immediate expulsion. It was brutal, unfathomably so. Strive diligently, my young ones. The Nine-Sword Sovereign smiled. I hope each of you can unleash your utmost potential. Now, you may return and rest. The trials commence tomorrow. As the words fell, the figure of the man in the azure robe vanished into thin air, and the terrifying pressure that enveloped the entire world dissipated. A collective sigh of relief emerged from the million prodigies, many of whom realized their backs were drenched in cold sweat. The pressure from the esteemed one was indeed formidable. Within the confines of Building 0825, the atmosphere grew even more intense. Among the 7 trial towers, Rong Jun clenched his fists, his eyes ablaze with fierce determination. Entering the top 100 directly became Luo Feng's sharp focus, a resolute goal in his mind. The other prodigies engaged in spirited discussions, some anxious, others exhilarated, while a few were filled with trepidation. The giant clad in scaled armor, 13, cast a cold glance around the room and scoffed. Are the rules clear? The trial towers test the most unadulterated strength, willpower, and survival skills. There is no room for trickery. If you desire higher scores, you must scale greater towers. Now, return to your quarters and prepare yourselves. Do not disgrace yourselves here. The crowd dared not utter a word, bowing respectfully before retreating to their respective chambers. Li Wei returned to his room, a spacious and comfortable suite equipped with all necessary amenities. He approached the window, gazing out at the floating continent and the distant silhouettes of other cosmic nation towers. The trial space, the 7 trial towers, Li Wei murmured to himself, his gaze tranquil and unruffled. For others, this was a brutal elimination, a stage to prove oneself. Yet for him, it resembled more a test of his own cultivation achievements. First in points, a slight smile graced his lips. This target held little allure for him. The internal rankings of the virtual universe company were not of paramount importance in the initial stages. What mattered were tangible benefits and future growth. He merely needed to ensure his place within the top 100 to avoid subsequent complications. Nevertheless, he pondered the staggering figure of 700 billion points and wondered about the strength of the Guardian at the 7th trial tower. It was indeed a prospect worth anticipating. He was curious to discover how far he could advance with his current stellar-level 9th stage cultivation, complemented by the 9th stage of the Annihilation Domain, the perfected light law, and the rudimentary concepts of time and space laws. What limits lay ahead? This trial space provided an opportunity for him to unleash his full potential without reservation. testing the true extent of his combat prowess. Would slaying foes yield points? He recalled his system, pondering whether the realm value absorbed from attacks would hold validity within the virtual universe. Even if it did, it likely could not be extracted from the virtual realm. However, the act of slaying itself might allow him to gauge the power of that particular technique. Plans formed in his mind. Tomorrow, he would hold nothing back, embarking on the tower with utmost efficiency, not for the sake of points or rankings, but to gain clarity on his path and engage in a contest of speed against the universe's most elite stellar-level geniuses. He slowly closed his eyes, calming his mind, adjusting his state to perfection as he awaited the dawn of tomorrow. The trial space, the Covenant of the Seven Towers. The final trial for 1,000,000 prodigies was about to begin. Chapter 40. The Gathering of 1,000 Universes, a time when stars shine brightly. The earth-shattering pre-selection rounds. The tumult of arena battles and cycles of reincarnation have finally drawn to a close. The 1,000 coveted spots for the pinnacle genius battle finals in the Qianwu universe have been firmly established. There remains a span of over a year before the ultimate confrontation at the headquarters of the Virtual Universe Company. For the vast majority of prodigies, this period is crucial for adjusting their states, digesting their experiences, and honing their skills. However, for Li Wei, it represents a rare opportunity to thoroughly integrate the accumulation of the past several years and achieve a final breakthrough. Deep within the Pacific Ocean on Earth lies a meditation chamber, meticulously constructed to resemble ancient Earth relics. Li Wei has chosen not to return to the depths of the sun, as the overwhelming energy there could disrupt the delicate insights he seeks in this final stage. Instead, he opts for the tranquility of the ocean's depths, utilizing the state-of-the-art meditation chamber provided by Babata for his ultimate retreat. Time flows gently in this profound stillness for over a year. His mind becomes completely immersed in the vast ocean of laws governing time and space. With the solid foundation built over the preceding years and the insights gained from observing the arena's reincarnation battles during the pre-selection rounds, the final barrier separating him from the two superior laws has been silently breached. This is not a cataclysmic breakthrough, but rather a clarity that arrives naturally. The previously imperceptible influence of time's flow has now become clear and controllable. He can subtly accelerate or decelerate the flow of time in a minuscule area around himself. Although the immediate benefits in combat remain limited, such mastery is sufficient for aiding comprehension and executing the most exquisite timing at critical moments. More importantly, he has truly touched the existence of the law of time, illuminating the path for his future endeavors. The progress made in the law of space is even more remarkable. The distance and stability of void walking have significantly improved. His thoughts command space changes as if it were instinct. His understanding of space has transcended mere traversal, allowing him to initiate basic confinement and folding. Though limited in range and intensity, this ability has become a terrifying means to determine victory or defeat in stellar-level confrontations. At this point, he has genuinely entered the realm of the two superior laws of time and space, while he has only grasped the most superficial aspects. The significance of this understanding far surpasses that of lower laws. His overall strength has undergone a qualitative leap during this seemingly tranquil year. On September 5, 2070, in the virtual universe, above the Qianwu continent, two figures appeared almost simultaneously at the teleportation point of a floating island. It was none other than Li Wei and Luo Feng. After more than 4 years of growth, their demeanors have transformed significantly. Luo Feng, having endured the trials of the reincarnation battles, now exudes a calm and restrained aura, his gaze sharp as a blade, hinting at a tenacity forged through countless battles. Meanwhile, Li Wei has become even more enigmatic, his energy harmoniously blending with the surrounding space. Unless one consciously perceives him, his presence could easily be overlooked. Yet, upon closer inspection, one can sense an unsettling depth. Mr. Luo Feng, Mr. Li Wei, please proceed this way. Standing beside the teleportation point was a uniformed cosmic warrior, his face adorned with a respectful smile, gesturing towards a luminous path paved with radiant gems. Being responsible for the reception, he was well aware that the two individuals before him represented the pinnacle of talent in the Qianwu Cosmic Nation. The duo nodded in acknowledgement and proceeded along the path. Moments later, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight, a vast square enveloped by extraordinary and enchanting flora. Within this square, hundreds had already gathered, men and women of various races, with approximately 1/3 resembling Earthlings. These individuals were a fraction of the 1,000 prodigies who had successfully navigated numerous eliminations to qualify for the finals of the Qianwu Cosmic Nation. They were clustered in small groups, engaged in animated discussions filled with palpable excitement and tension. The arrival of Luo Feng immediately captured the attention of many. It was Luo Feng. The madman has arrived. With over 9,000 battles in the reincarnation wars and an astonishing win rate, this individual was indeed a phenomenon. Having endured 3 long years of reincarnation battles, Luo Feng had faced nearly every genius from the defeated groups, and his moniker as a madman, along with his formidable prowess, was already well known. Instantly, several individuals called out to him, including friends made during the preliminary rounds, such as the cheerful Feng Luan. Even the towering, wild-spirited Rong Jun cast a glance towards Luo Feng, nodding slightly in acknowledgement, his eyes reflecting respect. Although Luo Feng had been defeated in their fourth-round duel, he had nonetheless earned Rong Jun's admiration. In stark contrast, Li Wei's presence drew far less attention. It had been over 4 years since the preliminaries, where he had secured first place in a spectacular manner, but thereafter he had vanished from public view, never to be seen in arena battles or reincarnation wars. Time had passed too long, while the shock of his dominance as the domain lord had not entirely faded from memory. Most had only heard tales and had never witnessed his prowess firsthand, leaving their impressions rather vague. The assembled prodigies, each brimming with pride, naturally paid little heed to someone who had briefly shone 4 years prior and had since remained silent, with only a few casting curious glances in his direction. After exchanging a few words with acquaintances, Luo Feng and Li Wei retreated to a quieter corner of the square. "It seems your first place hasn't garnered as much fame as my madman's reputation," Luo Feng quipped, a rare jest escaping his lips. Li Wei smiled faintly. Unfazed, "It's merely a hollow title. They will remember us in the finals." As they conversed, an overwhelming aura of terror suddenly descended upon the square, suffocating the air. The previously lively square fell into an eerie silence, as every genius felt a shiver of trepidation, instinctively turning to face the source of the oppressive force. Before them stood a giant, approximately 3 meters tall, clad in luxurious black scaled armor. His icy gaze swept across the crowd, as if capable of freezing one's very soul. The natural emanation of his law waves made these stellar geniuses feel minuscule, like mere specks of dust. It was none other than the immortal powerhouse leading the delegation from the Qianwu Cosmic Nation, the esteemed 13. "All have arrived," 13's voice boomed, devoid of any emotion, signaling the time to depart. With no superfluous words, he waved his hand, and an imperceptible force instantly enveloped all the prodigies in the square. Including those who had just arrived, there were precisely 1,001 individuals, 1,000 prodigies, and 13 himself, who simultaneously vanished from the floating island. In the next moment, everyone felt a blur before their eyes, and they found themselves in an entirely new dimensional space. Before them lay an expansive and boundless continent, with distant mountains rolling and shrouded in mist, while nearby was a vast square. Most striking of all were the towering edifices that stood in orderly rows ahead of the square. Each building, distinct in design and unique in style, emanated varying waves of energy, totaling an impressive 1,008 structures. The prodigies murmured in awe, their eyes filled with astonishment. This represented the convergence of the 1,008 representative teams from the human universe. Standing before the Qianwu Universe team, 1,008 edifices loomed, with their team assigned to Building 0825. A middle-aged man, dressed in a white robe and appearing to be a reception staff member, swiftly approached, respectfully bowing to the armored giant 13 with a tone of humility. 13, with an air of indifference, nodded slightly, his gaze sweeping over the group of bewildered young individuals behind him, his voice icy. "Follow." With that, he strode purposefully toward the edifice marked with the number 0825. The building, resplendent in dark gold, resembled a battle spear poised to pierce the heavens, radiating a sharp aura. The 1,000 prodigies immediately followed suit, none daring to lag behind. As they walked, they instinctively scrutinized the teams from other universes. Groups of young stellar prodigies, each led by their immortal captains, made their way to their respective buildings. The teams from more formidable universes, such as the Noah Universe and the Augustus Universe, boasted prodigies whose fierce auras and unabashed confidence were unmistakable. Some even cast derisive glances at the Qianwu Universe team. Among them, the top-tier individuals exuded a barely perceptible fluctuation of law energy, instilling a sense of trepidation in figures like Luo Feng and Rong Jun. Conversely, the teams from weaker universes exhibited a more subdued demeanor. Li Wei walked calmly among the group, his gaze sweeping over the prodigies from other universes. His perceptiveness surpassed that of his peers, allowing him to distinctly sense the terrifying presence lurking within those teams, akin to dormant beasts poised to strike. Indeed, gathered here were the prodigies of an entire era of the human race. Li Wei felt an unshakable calm within, which instead blossomed into a profound anticipation. It was this very challenge that imbued the experience with significance. His eyes seemed to penetrate through countless edifices, envisioning the future battlefield of the grand finale that would undoubtedly shake the world. The stars had gathered, and the time of brilliance was nigh. Chapter 42, The Seven Towers Trial, Achieving Lightspeed Clearance Across the Universe. The following day, the trial dimension specifically established by the virtual universe opened. Over 1 million independent trial spaces were activated simultaneously, with each prodigy entering a separate space, ensuring no interference and fair competition. Li Wei's figure materialized amidst a vast and desolate starry sky. Before him stood 7 towering black trial towers, piercing the heavens like ancient silent deities, exuding an oppressive aura that sent shivers down one's spine. From the first to the 7th, the towers grew increasingly colossal, their obsidian surfaces glimmering faintly with starlight. Cold and enigmatic, the trial begins. The chilling electronic voice echoed within each genius's trial space. Almost instantaneously, as the sound faded, Li Wei sprang into action. Unlike the majority of the talented individuals who cautiously ascended to the first level of the trial tower, he merely stirred his thoughts. Void walking. The fabric of space shimmered with delicate ripples, and in an instant, his figure vanished from its original position, only to reappear at the entrance of the first level of the trial tower. This preliminary manipulation of spatial laws allowed him to bypass the act of flying, achieving an astonishing speed. Stepping into the first level, he found himself amidst a vast desert, where 10,000 ferocious blood-haired mammoths surged forth like a tidal wave, shaking the earth with their might. These were star-level, ninth-tier beasts, which ordinary geniuses would need to approach with caution to avoid being overwhelmed. However, Li Wei merely cast a cursory glance at the stampede of beasts. Without pausing, he continued towards the staircase leading to the second level. Just as the first blood-haired mammoth was about to collide with him, a hum resonated. An absolute darkness field, with a radius of 150 meters, suddenly unfolded around him. The ninth-tier annihilation field. Those roaring beasts that charged into the darkness, regardless of their tough hides or massive forms, were unable even to emit a cry of despair before they disintegrated, as if erased by an eraser, dissolving into the most primordial particles. The meager points they provided were instantly recorded in Li Wei's tally. His steps remained steady and swift as he advanced directly towards the staircase. Wherever he passed, the annihilation field acted as an invisible halo of death, eradicating all blood-haired mammoths that intruded within its bounds, clearing a pristine path for him. The entire process, from entering the first level to stepping onto the staircase to the second level, took less than 3 seconds. First level cleared. Second level, 10,000 slightly smaller, yet more agile, 9-headed serpents. The same scene unfolded once more. Li Wei did not even glance at the serpents spitting venom and lunging from all directions. He simply maintained the annihilation field and pressed forward in a straight line. The venom dissipated upon entering the field, and the serpents met their demise upon contact. 3 seconds, cleared. Third level, 1,000 metallic life form warriors of the Toro race, known for their formidable defenses, still ineffective. In the face of absolute annihilation, solid defenses bore no significance. Death upon contact. 3 seconds, cleared. Fourth level, 1,000 flying phoenixes adept at mental attacks. Mental attacks? The impact on Li Wei's soul was profound. In the instant he entered his sea of consciousness, the enigmatic system completely absorbed him, reducing him to an insignificant realm value, failing to leave even the slightest mark upon him. As for the body of the flying phoenix, upon breaching the domain of obliteration, its fate was no different from that of the other guardians. 3 seconds, success. In the fifth layer, 100 mechanical puppets coordinated with exquisite precision, launching formidable energy attacks. Yet, their energy assaults were devoured by the domain, and their corporeal forms were annihilated. 3 seconds, success. In the sixth layer, a simplified version of 10 colossal beasts of the starry sky, their physical might overwhelming, exuded a menacing aura. Regardless of their formidable flesh or ferocious malevolence, within the domain of obliteration, they were met with equality. 3 seconds, success. In the seventh layer, an elite warrior birthed from a Zerg nest, at the pinnacle of the 9th tier of stellar classification, rivaled an ordinary genius. This elite warrior might incite a storm of bloodshed in the external world, yet here, it could scarcely discern the visage of its challenger. Its newly formed body disintegrated upon contact with the dark abyss. 3 seconds, success. The first trial tower, all 7 layers conquered. Total time, no more than half a minute. Meanwhile, over 999 prodigies remained embroiled in a fierce struggle against the blood-furred mammoth on the first layer, striving to accumulate points. Without the slightest pause, Li Wei's figure passed through the teleportation point of the first tower, directly entering the second trial tower. In the second trial tower, the strength of the Guardians doubled compared to the first tower, while their numbers remained unchanged. However, before the 9th tier domain of obliteration, even this doubled power was as fragile as parchment. Li Wei felt no pressure at all, maintaining the domain as he moved forward in a straight line. Each layer still required approximately 3 seconds. In less than half a minute, he conquered the second trial tower. In the third trial tower, the Guardian strength quadrupled relative to the first tower. This time, the effects of the obliteration domain seemed to encounter a minuscule hindrance. Those Guardians appeared to linger for an infinitesimal fraction longer before being erased. Yet that was all. Li Wei's pace remained unyielding. Half a minute, and he passed through the third trial tower. In the fourth trial tower, the Guardian strength octupled compared to the first tower. At this level, their power exceeded that of ordinary 9th tier stellar beings, nearing the threshold of typical first-tier cosmic entities. Li Wei sensed that the duration required for the obliteration domain to erase them had transformed from nearly instantaneous to an exceedingly brief interval. His speed finally experienced a slight deceleration, yet he continued to traverse each layer in a manner akin to a leisurely stroll. The time taken for each layer increased from 3 seconds to around 5 seconds. In less than a minute, he succeeded in the fourth trial tower. At this moment, on the external leaderboard, Li Wei's name surged with astonishing velocity, akin to a rocket, leaving all other prodigies, including those extraordinary talents upon whom various cosmic nations had pinned their hopes, far behind as he ascended to the pinnacle of the rankings. Look at the leaderboard. It's Li Wei from the Qianwu Cosmic Nation. How is this possible? In such a short time, he has already conquered the fourth trial tower? The others have barely reached the second tower at best. A monster. Once again, it's him. How can his speed be so extraordinary? Is it possible that the guardians of the trial towers do not impede his progress? In the Virtual Cosmos Company's backend, along with the attention of 1,008 immortals and exalted beings, this anomalous data did not go unnoticed. As they reviewed the playback of Li Wei's challenges, even these seasoned immortals were rendered speechless. Was that a domain? A remarkably unique domain that seemed to possess formidable annihilation properties. A ninth-tier domain? A stellar being capable of cultivating the domain to such a level? Not only was it the domain, but his manipulation of space was also quite ingenious, saving him considerable travel time. This approach to the trials was indeed straightforward, yet brutal. It was evident that this young lad had not exerted his full capabilities during the preliminary rounds. Several immortals exchanged thoughts, developing a keen interest in Li Wei. The fifth trial tower. The Guardian's strength had been amplified to 16 times that of the first tower. It had firmly reached a cosmic grade first tier, perhaps even stronger. At this juncture, Li Wei finally sensed a modicum of pressure. The annihilation domain could still effortlessly eliminate these guardians, yet the process required more time. Particularly with the overwhelming number of layers, with 10,000 bloodmane mammoths of cosmic grade first tier charging simultaneously, even though they perished upon contact. Their relentless onslaught slightly impeded his forward momentum. He no longer relied solely on the domain. Occasionally, he would extend his fingers like a sword, unleashing a highly condensed beam of annihilation light to clear the path of obstructing guardians. Though his speed had diminished somewhat, it still surpassed the comprehension of other prodigies by a wide margin. The fifth trial tower was conquered in approximately 3 minutes. The sixth trial tower. The Guardian's strength escalated to 32 times that of the first tower. This was already a terrifying power characteristic of mid to late cosmic grade. The pressure surged dramatically. The effectiveness of the annihilation domain was further diminished, allowing the Guardians to endure within the domain for a brief moment before perishing. The sheer volume of Guardians assaulting him even posed a slight impact on the stability of the domain. Li Wei's demeanor grew more serious. He began to employ his movement techniques more actively, utilizing void walking, 4 short-range flickers to evade the most concentrated shockwaves while simultaneously unleashing beams of annihilation light from both hands, each striking down a formidable guardian with precision akin to the touch of death. The combination of the laws of light and the laws of wind rendered his movements and attacks extraordinarily swift. The sixth trial tower was conquered in approximately 10 minutes. As he passed through the sixth trial tower, his score had reached a figure that instilled despair in the talents behind him. Ranking second was a super genius from the Noah Cosmic Nation, known as the Reaper, Berlan, who had only recently stepped into the fifth trial tower. Li Wei's figure did not linger. With one decisive step, he entered the final realm, the seventh trial tower. In the first layer of the seventh trial tower, the strength of the Guardian was 64 times that of the first trial tower. This terrifying power was sufficient to plunge the vast majority of stellar-level geniuses into an abyss of despair. 10,000 blood-haired mammoths radiating the aura of cosmic pinnacle, even bearing a hint of law fluctuations, surged forth like a cataclysmic tide. Their collective charge possessed the might to rend stars asunder. Li Wei stood at the entrance and finally halted. Taking a deep breath, his gaze sharpened immeasurably. 64 times. Now it was becoming intriguing. Faced with this horrifying tide of beasts, for the first time, he proactively spread his arms wide. In the next moment, he held nothing back. The perfected law of light, the ninth-level annihilation domain, the initially fused wind law, and the entry-level space law began to converge in his hands in an arcane manner. Outside the trial tower, the scoreboard displaying Li Wei's name had momentarily ceased its fluctuations. All observers held their breath. How would he confront this ultimate challenge? Chapter 39, The Storm of the Arena. The cycle unfolds. In the virtual cosmos, the exclusive arena for decisive battles, 10,000 colossal platforms floated in the boundless starry sky, each surrounded by a flowing, multicolored energy membrane, exuding an air of mystery and solemnity. This was the stage for the pinnacle genius battles of the Qianwu Cosmic Nation. The top 1,001 talents from 100 preliminary world regions, totaling 100 geniuses, after deducting the 100 direct qualifiers, would engage in a brutal contest spanning several years for the precious 900 spots in the grand finals. The first phase of the arena melee was about to commence. 100,000 geniuses were randomly divided into 1,000 groups, with each group consisting of 100 individuals, spread across 1,000 platforms. The rules were simple, yet merciless. The last 10 standing on each platform would advance to the next round. This meant that in just this round, a staggering 90,000 would be eliminated. Although Li Wei had directly advanced to the grand finals by securing first place in the 99th world region of the preliminaries, exempting him from participating in this phase of slaughter, he still closely monitored the performance of his friends back on Earth, particularly Luo Feng, through the Virtual Cosmos Network. Platform 382. Luo Feng appeared in one corner of the arena, accompanied by another 99 formidable geniuses. Those who managed to emerge from the brutal preliminaries were all outstanding among stellar-level beings, their eyes brimming with vigilance and killing intent. As the countdown reached its end, chaos erupted. Energy radiance instantaneously illuminated the entire platform, with the clash of domains, the whistling of psychic weapons, and the relentless sounds of primal weaponry colliding echoing throughout. Almost immediately, a dozen individuals fell victim to concentrated attacks due to their unfavorable positions, vanishing into white light. Luo Feng maintained a calm demeanor. With an exquisite artifact of divine weaponry suspended before him, Ascend, heaven-skimming shuttle, rather than unleashing the full might of his divine weaponry at the outset. He first maneuvered the shuttle for evasion and defense, all while keenly observing the chaos unfolding on the arena. His movements were agile, deftly weaving through the tumultuous onslaught to avoid becoming a focal point of attack. First, eliminate the isolated ones. That one wielding a telekinetic weapon poses a significant threat. Let us converge on him. Various shouts erupted from different corners of the arena, as transient alliances swiftly formed and disbanded. Seizing an opportunity, Luo Feng's gaze sharpened. First form of divine weaponry, phantom sword style. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The divine weaponry instantaneously disassembled and reassembled into 9 golden streaks of light. Exuding an aura of formidable golden laws, darting like lightning toward a giant axe wielder engaged in combat with others. The warriors sensed a lethal threat approaching from behind and roared in an attempt to block, but the trajectories of the 9 golden lights were uncanny. Swiftly circumventing the giant axe and piercing through his defenses. With a sudden gasp, the formidable warrior stiffened and then dissipated into white light. Point secured. Luo Feng's mental control became increasingly adept. Like a patient hunter, he navigated the edges of chaos. His divine weaponry alternately transforming into a phantom sword for lethal strikes and coalescing into a shield for defense. He refrained from revealing his full strength, efficiently harvesting points while ensuring he was not besieged by multiple foes. As time passed, the number of combatants on the arena dwindled, 80, 50, 30, 20. When the count fell to around 15, the battles intensified to a brutal crescendo. The remaining participants were all masters, each wary of the others. Luo Feng recognized that it was time to abandon his concealment. Taking a deep breath, his divine weaponry radiated with resplendence, and the 9 golden lights fused into a singular, more imposing golden greatsword. Break! The golden greatsword surged forth with unstoppable momentum, shattering both the defense of a psychic warrior attempting to ambush him and the warrior himself. Ultimately, after nearly half an hour of fierce combat, only 10 individuals remained standing on Arena 382, including Luo Feng. Each bore injuries, their breaths uneven. Yet their eyes sparkled with the joy of victory, tinged with exhaustion. Luo Feng emerged triumphantly from the fray, one of the few to advance. However, the true test was only just beginning. Next would come a more intricate and ruthless series of one-on-one duels and cyclical battles. The 10,000 talents who survived the melee would be paired according to the evaluations of the virtual universe system. In the first round, 5,000 pairs would battle, yielding 5,000 victors, while 5,000 defeated would enter the loser's bracket. In the second round, 2,500 pairs would contend, producing 2,500 winners, with another 2,500 entering the loser's bracket. In the third round, 1,250 pairs faced off, resulting in 1,250 victors and an equal number of vanquished, who were relegated to the defeat group. The fourth round saw 625 pairs contend, yielding 625 winners. These fortunate individuals would secure their tickets to the grand finale. Conversely, the 9,375 defeated contestants, 10,000-625, would all enter the brutal cycle of elimination battles, engaging in a protracted series of matches to vie for the remaining 275 spots in the championship. Although Luo Feng encountered obstacles in his earlier one-on-one duels, he triumphed over his opponents with his increasingly adept mastery of the derived divine weapon and indomitable spirit, securing his place among the top 250. However, in the pivotal fourth round, which would determine his direct advancement, his fortune appeared to have run dry. His adversary was none other than the illustrious genius, Rong Jun, who had gained notoriety by defeating Thunder God and Hong in the preliminary rounds. This clash captured the attention of countless spectators. On one side was the unconventional, yet rapidly ascending Luo Feng from a remote planet, and on the other was the already renowned Rong Jun, acknowledged as a formidable contender for the top ranks in this universe. As the battle commenced, it quickly escalated to a fevered intensity. Rong Jun's wild and domineering style, coupled with his knife techniques imbued with the profound mysteries of the earth and void elemental laws, placed immense pressure on Luo Feng. In response, Luo Feng unleashed the first level of his derived divine weapon to its fullest potential, launching 9 golden streaks of light from various angles in a frenzied assault. Yet they were repeatedly repelled by Rong Jun's seemingly cumbersome, yet spatially harmonious movements and his ferocious blade strikes. Luo Feng, your psychic weapon is impressive, but it falls short. Rong Jun's voice thundered as he wielded his battle blade, channeling the very essence of the earth's power. Gritting his teeth, Luo Feng poured his mental energy fervently into his weapon. Second level of the derived divine weapon, the sky-piercing style. The form of the divine weapon transformed once again, as the 9 golden rays coalesced into a singular, exquisitely refined golden rapier, imbued with unparalleled penetrating intent. The tip of the sword distorted the very fabric of space. Aimed directly at Rongjun's chest. Excellent. A glimmer of excitement flashed in Rongjun's eyes. He advanced rather than retreating. As a torrent of earthy energy surged from his blade, faintly laced with dark patterns, and he struck with a ferocious chop. The clash of blade and sword resounded with a cataclysmic force. The horrifying energy shockwave swept across the entire arena. The golden rapier trembled violently, emitting a mournful cry, as it was forcefully repelled by Rongjun's overwhelmingly powerful blade, dimming in brilliance. Luo Feng felt the backlash, his complexion paling. Rongjun staggered back a couple of steps, his palms tingling, but his fighting spirit surged even higher. Good. To force me back, you deserve my full power. Before his words could fade, Rongjun's aura surged once more, merging his being with his blade, exuding an even more terrifying presence, as if it could rend the very fabric of space. Locking onto Luo Feng with chilling intent. This is bad. Luo Feng's pupils constricted as he desperately attempted to control his derived divine weapon for defense. Yet, that strike was too swift, too ferocious. In a flash, Luo Feng's consciousness spiraled into darkness. In the fourth round, Luo Feng was defeated. The 625 slots for direct advancement were relegated to a group of 375 defeated geniuses, compelled to engage in an interminable cycle of battles known as the Reincarnation War. In this contest, each of the 375 participants must confront one another in a series of duels, a true test of strength, endurance, and willpower. This grueling ordeal is set to last a full 3 years, meaning that Luo Feng must partake in an average of over 8 high-intensity confrontations daily. Li Wei, through the Virtual Cosmos Network, observed the early skirmishes of Luo Feng in the Reincarnation War. He noted how Luo Feng swiftly adjusted his mindset after a setback, his gaze hardening with newfound resolve. In the initial bouts, Luo Feng seemed to still be haunted by his earlier clash with Rongjun, exhibiting a degree of impatience and suffering additional defeats. However, he soon found his composure and regarded this reincarnation war as the finest whetstone for his skills. His mastery of the divine weapon grew increasingly sophisticated, with seamless transitions from the illusory sword style to the sky-piercing style. Throughout the skirmishes, he engaged in continuous reflection, analysis, and self-improvement. The insights gained from the Golden Horn Giant's avatar gradually integrated into the combat of his earthly counterpart. His agility, swordsmanship, and mental control advanced at a visibly remarkable pace. His ranking, initially lagging behind, began to ascend steadily and resolutely, from the thousands to the top 1,000, and then to the top 500. The moniker Madman Luo Feng began to resonate throughout the Reincarnation War. Deep within the sun, aboard an E9-class spacecraft, Li Wei withdrew his focus from the Reincarnation War, immersing himself once again in his own cultivation. Luo Feng's path was one he must forge himself. And these 3 years also presented Li Wei with a precious opportunity to solidify his foundation and glimpse higher realms of understanding. The system continued to sustain energy absorption and realm value conversion while maintaining suppression. Command confirmed. Realm value reserves are continuously increasing. His consciousness delved deeper into the profound mysteries of the upper laws of time and space, while he tirelessly refined a technique rooted in the essence of annihilation. Merging the laws of light and wind, complemented by the arcane principles of time and space, an embryonic combat skill he termed Eternal Moment. 3 years passed quietly amidst cultivation and intermittent observation. As the Reincarnation War neared its conclusion, Li Wei felt the tremors of the Virtual Cosmos Network announcing that Luo Feng, after enduring over 9,000 battles, had emerged victorious with a remarkable win rate, successfully breaking free from the defeated group to seize one of the 275 slots, thereby qualifying for the grand finals. Li Wei slowly opened his eyes, a fleeting vision of the cosmos' birth and demise shimmering within his gaze. His aura deepened and became more contained, his mastery of power reaching new heights. With the Reincarnation War concluded, the grand finals were finally upon them. The 1,000 prodigies of the Qianwu Cosmic Nation had gathered, and soon, the pinnacle of human genius from all cosmic nations would converge upon the ultimate stage. The battle of humanity's finest was about to commence. Chapter 43, Eternal Moment, the ultimate trial of the Seventh Tower. Li Wei took a deep breath, his eyes reflecting a myriad of spatial fissures flickering in his left eye, while his right eye appeared to flow with the river of time. His hands pressed forward in the air, and an indescribable mystical vibration began to gather around him as its epicenter. The law of light, perfected, offered unparalleled speed and penetration, along with boundless light energy. The initial fusion of the law of wind endowed his attacks with unparalleled swiftness and tearing properties. The entry into the law of space allowed him to confine, distort, and fold space, thereby restricting his enemies and accelerating himself. The entry into the law of time granted him a feeble temporal force, hastening his attacks in an instant while delaying the enemy's perception momentarily. The core of the Annihilation Essence domain represented the ultimate destination of destruction. These powerful and disparate forces, under his extraordinary willpower and meticulous control over energy, began to attempt an extremely perilous and enigmatic fusion. The objective was the secret technique he had envisioned for 3 years. Meticulously refined within the depths of the sun, eternal instant. Concentrate, Li Wei silently commanded within his heart. It was not a flawless fusion. Rather, it resembled the forced binding of several ferocious dragons, all directed towards a singular purpose. This process was immensely challenging, placing a tremendous mental burden upon him. A slight sheen of sweat appeared on his forehead as the surrounding space began to twist and blur due to the violent fluctuations of energy. Just as several blood-haired mammoths were about to collide with the compressed annihilation domain, Li Wei thrust his hands forward with great force. Secret technique, eternal instant, incomplete version. There was no earth-shattering explosion, no dazzling brilliance. Instead, a slender, dark beam, seemingly capable of devouring all light, erupted from his palms. At the moment this beam emerged, the space it traversed seemed to freeze. The thousands of charging, roaring blood-haired mammoths, their movements, their flowing fur, the blood mist they expelled, even the fierce glint in their eyes, exhibited an imperceptible stasis, as if time had been pressed to a 1/10,000th slow-motion button. Yet, the gray beam itself transcended this frozen space-time. It was indescribably swift, as though it exceeded the very concept of light, appearing directly at the heart of the beast tide. The next moment, a low, resonant hum echoed, reminiscent of the birth of the universe. From the point where the gray beam struck, an absolute darkness rapidly expanded. This darkness was not mere void. It was a realm of death formed from the ultimate annihilation power intertwined with the chaotic fabric of space-time. Within this range, the blood-haired mammoths, whether their bodies, harder than any alloy, or the faintly flowing earth-tone law ripples, disintegrated silently and vanished the instant they came into contact with this darkness. Leaving no trace behind, they were not merely killed, they were utterly erased from the very fabric of existence. With a single strike, just one strike, the gray beam pierced through the entire tide of beasts, while the expanding realm of death consumed over 9,000 terrifying blood-haired mammoths. The remaining mammoths, numbering less than 1,000, though surviving on the fringes by a stroke of luck, appeared to be under the influence of an unseen force. Their movement sluggish and their breath feeble. Li Wei's complexion momentarily paled before he regained his composure. The recent strike had nearly drained 30% of his spiritual energy, and the imperfect integration of his secret technique had left him feeling the backlash. While the power was considerable, the consumption and control were far from adequate. He assessed calmly, recognizing the remarkable area-wide annihilation effect, yet the destructive power concentrated on a singular, extreme point was insufficient. He ceased employing this unfinished technique, and with a swift motion, the compressed realm of annihilation shifted, functioning like an efficient death mill, effortlessly grinding down the remaining blood-haired mammoths that had succumbed to their sluggish state. Layer 1 of the 7th trial tower, cleared. Time taken, 1 minute. In the outside world, Li Wei's score on the leaderboard surged once more. Though the increase was not as dramatic as in previous towers, it steadily rose, firmly securing his position at the top. All observers held their breath, eager to discover how far he could progress in the 7th tower. Layer 2 presented him with 10,000 nine-headed pythons, boasting a strength 64 times that of the first layer, with greater speed and more potent venom, even carrying a hint of the elemental water law's fluctuations. Li Wei once again attempted to deploy the momentary eternity, this time slightly adjusting the energy ratios to achieve a swifter release and a more concentrated linear penetration. A gray beam flashed, decimating a significant number of serpents in a straight line, though the area-wide annihilation effect paled in comparison to his initial strike. He proceeded to utilize his domain and the light of annihilation to clear the field. Success. Time taken, 1.5 minutes. Layer 3 featured 1,000 Tualuo warriors, their defenses astonishingly formidable. The annihilation characteristics of momentary eternity proved significant, yet the consumption remained immense. Li Wei employed it selectively, combining it with agile movements and targeted strikes to navigate through the challenges. Time taken, 3 minutes. Layer 4 involved 1,000 flying hounds. Their mental assaults akin to a tangible tsunami. The system diligently absorbed all mental impacts, allowing Li Wei to focus solely on physical attacks. However, these flying hounds were equally robust. The area-wide clearing effect of momentary eternity manifested once more. Success. Time taken, 4 minutes. Layer 5 consisted of 100 mechanical puppets. Intricately coordinated, their energy attacks comparable to a casual strike from a domain lord at the initial level. This posed a significant challenge. Li Wei pushed the void walk to its limits, flickering amidst the dense barrage of energy fire, seeking gaps. Momentary eternity struggled to breach the puppet's formation, each use only managing to destroy dozens of puppets. This was a war of attrition, posing a tremendous test to his spirit and energy. Success. Time taken, 10 minutes. His complexion grew even paler. Layer 6 presented 10 simplified versions of the cosmic behemoth, their power nearing, if not already at, the threshold of the first tier of domain lord level. The malevolence coalesced into a realm, fiercely assaulting Li Wei's will in the realm of annihilation. A grueling battle ensued. Li Wei exhausted all his means, employing momentary eternity, the light of annihilation, compressed domains, and temporal laws to their utmost limit. Each collision was exhilarating, each evasion a hair's breadth from catastrophe. He even sustained some injuries, manifesting as a significant depletion of mental energy within the virtual cosmos. Ultimately, he paid the price of his wounds to obliterate 10 colossal beasts, a feat that consumed nearly 30 minutes. The increase in points was slow, yet none could challenge his top position. At that moment, Berlan, ranked second, had only just entered the first layer of the 7th trial tower, struggling earnestly. Li Wei stood at the threshold of the staircase leading from the 6th to the 7th layer, breathing slightly heavily. His mind felt a tinge of fatigue. The continuous high-intensity bursts, especially while unleashing the incomplete momentary eternity, placed an immense strain on him. This was the final layer. He lifted his gaze toward the entrance of the 7th layer, where a fearsome elite warrior of the Insectoid Queen loomed, its power 64 times that of the first. Its strength likely approached the Domain Lord level, and it was certainly no ordinary Domain Lord. After a brief moment of recovery, he managed to regain some composure and stepped into the ultimate layer. The 7th layer transformed into a vast and splendid plain adorned with vibrant flowers. Yet at its center stood the menacing shadow of an insectoid hive. Before the hive stood a seemingly delicate and beautiful woman, her visage perfect. Yet her eyes bore the frigid structure of compound lenses. The mental pressure emanating from her far surpassed that of the previous flying beast, almost materializing into a tangible storm of psychic force. The energy fluctuations stabilized at the Domain Lord level. She gazed at Li Wei, revealing an eerie and chilling smile. Without the need for any insectoid warriors, she herself was the most formidable weapon. Li Wei took a deep breath, aware that his current limits were likely reached. Defeating this Domain Lord-level Insectoid Queen Elite would require an all-out burst, risking irreparable damage to his foundation, an endeavor deemed unnecessary. Yet, having arrived at this juncture, one must test their mettle. A glint of determination flashed in his eyes as he launched the first attack. Momentary eternity. He poured the majority of his remaining mental energy into this strike, striving for the utmost power he could currently wield. The grayish stream of energy reappeared, hurtling toward the Insectoid Queen. However, she merely raised a delicate hand, and a radiant burst of light blossomed from her fingertip, imbued with formidable telekinetic might and a certain law-like force. Boom! The two terrifying forces collided. The gray stream struggled to penetrate the brilliant light, but its potency was greatly diminished. When it reached the Insectoid Queen, it merely caused her energy shield to fluctuate violently, failing to breach it. A flicker of disdain crossed the Queen's eyes, and then a far more dreadful psychic storm, mingled with a tangible energy shockwave, surged toward Li Wei like a cosmic tsunami. Li Wei's compressed annihilation field surged into action, yet it flickered like a candle in a tempest, wavering and ultimately suppressed to its limits. Indeed, it was futile. Feeling the inexorable force of destruction, Li Wei relinquished his resistance. In the next moment, his figure was engulfed by an endless tide of energy. The trial had concluded. The chilling electronic sound reverberated through the air as Li Wei's figure emerged amidst the primordial starry sky. His final score crystallized into a figure that rendered the entire finals dimension speechless. The 7th trial tower, 6th level. Ranking, 1st. Though he halted at the threshold of the ultimate level, this achievement radiated brilliance, instilling despair in millions of prodigies and moving 1,008 immortals and esteemed individuals alike. Chapter 44. The Birth of the Top 100, the Prelude to the Arena. In the virtual universe, within the trial dimension's central plaza, Li Wei was the first to materialize in the expansive square. He sat cross-legged, resembling an unyielding ancient stone. Behind him, a colossal screen displayed his astounding score of 67 billion. Akin to an insurmountable monument, overshadowing the era's geniuses and leaving all subsequent participants who were transported there gasping for breath and despair. As days turned into weeks, eliminated prodigies surged forth from the trial space, transforming the plaza into a cacophony of voices. Gasps, sighs, and discussions filled the air, with attention invariably fixated on the name and score that towered at the summit, as well as the last few outstanding talents still battling within the tower. The rankings on the leaderboard fluctuated before solidifying. The wild man Rong Jun fell at the 5th trial tower, securing a final position of 15th. His remarkable performance tinged with a hint of reluctance as he returned to the plaza. Bloodblade Candida met his end at the 5th trial tower's 5th level, finishing in 29th place. Life Sword Yifeng succumbed at the 6th level of the 5th trial tower, claiming 17th place. The Grim Reaper Berlan from the Noah universe exhibited astonishing prowess, advancing through the trials to reach the 1st level of the 7th trial tower. Though he did not succeed in passing, his score soared to an astonishing height, firmly anchoring him in 2nd place overall. The madman Luo Feng, methodically and steadily honing his skills over 10 days on each level, ultimately faltered at the 1st level of the 6th trial tower, securing 4th place. Ranking 3rd was Gazero, who also reached the 1st level of the 6th trial tower, albeit with a slightly higher score. When the last prodigy was eliminated, the trials officially concluded. The final rankings were firmly established. NO1 Li Wei, Qianwu Universe, score, 67, 777, 770, 000. NO2 Berlan, Noah Universe, score, NO3 Gazero, Universe, score, NO4 Luo Feng, Qianwu Universe, score. NO15 Rongjun, Qianwu Universe, score. NO17 Yifeng, Galuan Universe, score. NO29 Candida, Jiuyan Universe, score. The Qianwu Universe emerged as the most dazzling dark horse in this genius battle, not only clinching the championship and runner-up, Li Wei in first. Berlan not being a Qianwu national, thus Luo Feng's fourth place is deemed the second best result for his nation, but also featuring Rongjun within the top 20. Achieving an overall splendid performance. The trials have concluded. The chilling electronic tones reverberated across the plaza. In the next instant, aside from the top 300 geniuses, the remaining million-plus eliminated participants flickered and were collectively transported away from this space. The once bustling central square was abruptly rendered desolate, leaving behind only the 300 elite who had successfully advanced to the next phase. The immortal leaders from various cosmic nations emerged, guiding their respective prodigies back to their resting quarters within Building 0825. Giant 13, clad in scale armor, surveyed the 6 remaining young individuals, Li Wei, Luo Feng, Rongjun, along with 3 other talented individuals from the Qianwu Cosmic Nation who had made it into the top 300. The entire building, which had once housed 1,000 geniuses, now felt eerily vacant, containing merely these 6 individuals and the guiding immortal 13. 13's gaze lingered particularly on Li Wei, Luo Feng, and Rongjun, as a hint of warmth seemed to soften his otherwise icy demeanor. You 6, commendable, he boomed, especially addressing the trio. You have brought honor to the Qianwu Cosmic Nation. Return to rest and await tomorrow's notification. The following day, an immense pressure descended once more, enveloping the area where the 300 geniuses resided. The honored one, 1,008 powerful immortals bowed in unison, their earlier grandeur now replaced with humble reverence. This spectacle filled the hearts of the 300 elite with awe towards the supreme existence above. In the sky, the esteemed Nine-Sword Lord, donned in a blue battle robe with purple scales adorning his head, appeared silently, a smile gracing his face as he gazed below. The trial has concluded. First, I extend my congratulations to the first and 100th challengers. His gentle voice resonated clearly in every ear. You have earned the privilege to enter the core of the Virtual Universe Company. His eyes swept over the crowd, particularly resting on Li Wei, Bolin, and others at the forefront. Now, if anyone is unwilling, feel free to voice your concerns. The Virtual Universe Company will never coerce anyone. A profound silence enveloped the plaza. Joining the core of the Virtual Universe Company was an opportunity coveted by countless geniuses. Who would dare to withdraw at this moment? Very well, the Nine-Sword Lord nodded in satisfaction. He then shifted his tone. As for the 101st to the 300th, this group of 200 challengers. A wave of anxiety washed over everyone, especially those ranked within this range, including Luo Feng, 4th place had directly advanced, and Rongjun, 15th place had also directly advanced. Both were now secure and focused on their remaining companions. Based on your performances in the trial space, the Virtual Universe system has automatically arranged arena battles for you. A colossal screen illuminated, displaying an extensive list of matchups. Those who achieve 3 consecutive victories will secure a position, while the defeated will be eliminated. The Nine-Sword Lord's voice echoed, highlighting the harshness of the rules. 200 individuals will engage in one-on-one arena battles. In the initial battle, half of the participants were eliminated, leaving 600 individuals remaining. In the subsequent contest, another half was culled, resulting in 800 contenders. The third battle further reduced the numbers, leaving only 900 survivors. These final 900 will join the top 100 prodigies of the trial space to form the 1,000 core members to be embraced by the Virtual Universe Company. The climactic arena showdown is imminent. The Nine-Sword Sovereign smiled and said, prepare yourselves well, young ones. I hope to see your names among the final 1,000. As his words faded, the Sovereign's figure gradually vanished. An immense pressure suddenly descended upon the 200 talented individuals poised to partake in the arena clash. 3 consecutive battles, each critical to their fate, awaited them. Meanwhile, the top 100 contenders, including Li Wei, Bolin, Gusi Luo, Luo Feng, and Rongjun, faced the impending trials with relative ease. They had already secured their core positions, and the forthcoming arena battles would primarily determine their initial rankings and privileges. Li Wei cast a glance at the combat roster, his expression calm and unwavering. For him, both the arena battles and the ultimate rankings were merely procedural steps. His gaze had long since shifted towards the broader, deeper realms of the Virtual Universe Company, where the true challenges would commence post-entry. Chapter 45, Arena Selection, Secret Realm Classification. After the Nine-Sword Sovereign announced the rules of the arena battles, he vanished from sight, only to reappear in the vicinity of the 1,008 immortals, observing serenely. The prodigies who had been directly promoted to the top 100 were guided by staff to a designated resting area in a corner of the square, prepared especially for them. 100 spacious and comfortable chairs were arranged in a semicircle, with tables laden with exquisite drinks and food positioned in front. To be seated here was a mark of honor and recognition of strength. Li Wei casually chose a chair and directed his calm gaze towards the 3 600 massive screens that suddenly illuminated in the center of the square. Luo Feng, Rong Jun, and others also took their seats. Their expressions focused as they watched the unfolding matches. Although they had advanced, gaining insight into the techniques of other competitors was undoubtedly beneficial, particularly against those who may have concealed their true strength during the trials. The arena battles erupted instantaneously. 3,600 arenas activated simultaneously as 7,200 prodigies clashed fiercely. Each contender who reached this stage was among the elite of the stellar ranks, and the combat quickly escalated to a fever pitch. Brilliant displays of elemental energy erupted, peculiar telekinetic weapons darted through the fray, powerful realms collided, and mental illusions engaged in an intangible dance, showcasing a dazzling array of techniques. In one of the screens, a young man wielding a warblade gazed helplessly as his blade's brilliance was shattered by his opponent's telekinetic weapon, followed by a ghostly light piercing through his brow. He collapsed onto the arena floor, his eyes vacant, lips silently forming the words, "I am unwilling." Unwillingness. Too much unwillingness. To have fought through 1,000,000 talents and reached the top 7,300, they stood merely 3 steps away from their ultimate dreams. However, the threshold set by the most formidable force in the universe, the Virtual Universe Company, is merciless, allowing only the most exceptional geniuses to enter. Failure signifies a missed opportunity to engage with the finest platform, a disparity that can drive one to madness. The battles concluded with remarkable swiftness. In instances of marked strength disparity, life and death are often determined within mere moves. When strengths are comparable, a fierce struggle ensues. Yet the confined arena soon compels a resolution of victory or defeat. In less than 5 minutes, over 90% of the 3,600 battles across the screens have drawn to a close. The 3,600 talented individuals, now shrouded in disappointment, are transported away from the arena, marking the end of their journey as prodigies in combat. Meanwhile, the victorious 3,600, breathing heavily with relief, await the next round. Half an hour later, the second round commences. Once again, half of the 3,600 geniuses fall. The clashes grow increasingly intense and brutal. Those who survive the first round are not weaklings, and any lapse in concentration could lead to downfall. Another half of the talented contenders, laden with profound regret, are eliminated. After yet another half hour, the final round begins. The remaining 1,800 geniuses, their eyes aflame with fervor, appear nearly frenzied. They stand but a final step away from ultimate victory. To win is to leap through the Dragon Gate and enter the core of the Virtual Universe Company. To lose is to forfeit all prior achievements. Each arena erupts with astonishing waves of energy. "Look at that," Rong Jun suddenly remarked, his tone grave as he pointed to one of the screens. It displayed the arena of Galaxy, a member of the Howling God clan. Cloaked in a black robe, he emanated an eerie and sinister aura. His 3 battles unfolded in nearly identical fashion. In the first match, his opponent, a formidable psychic warrior, succumbed instantly as countless psychic weapons illuminated the arena, their wielders' eyes glazing over in a stupor before collapsing lifelessly. In the second bout, his adversary, a warrior armed with a colossal axe, roared as he charged forward, only to halt abruptly, his eyes vacant, falling silently to the ground. In the third match, his opponent appeared forewarned, or perhaps possessed an exceptionally strong will. As Galaxy unleashed his assault, the contender trembled violently, his complexion ashen, yet he somehow withstood the initial wave of intangible soul attacks. However, before he could express relief, a flicker of ominous light flashed in Galaxy's eyes beneath the shadows of his robe, heralding the arrival of a second wave of assault. The genius could no longer endure. Blood poured from his 7 orifices as he crashed to the ground. A clean sweep of victories. Galaxy, the Phantom Demon, effortlessly secured a slot, having not even lifted a finger throughout the encounters. "This phantom is truly terrifying," Rong Jun remarked gravely, acknowledging his own steadfastness of spirit, yet admitting that he held no absolute assurance against such insidious soul illusion attacks. "Indeed," Luo Feng replied, his gaze fixed intently on the screen, sharp and discerning. "Pure soul attacks are not inherently dreadful. What is truly fearsome is their fusion with illusions. Such illusions can ensnare individuals in a dreamlike state without their awareness, leading them to believe they are experiencing reality. This terrifying illusionist is nearly the nemesis of close combat warriors." Li Wei cast a glance at Galaxy's arena, his expression remaining placid. Soul attacks? Illusions? To him, they are merely nourishment absorbed by the system. He even felt a flicker of anticipation for this individual to make his move in the ensuing battles, curious to ascertain how much realm value he could convert. As the final rounds of combat drew to a close, a sudden surge of 900 figures materialized in the central plaza. These 900 accomplished and aspiring elites wore expressions of uncontainable excitement and exhilaration, with some even moved to tears. Indeed, after enduring 3 grueling rounds of elimination, they had risen above 7,200 contenders, finally securing the coveted core slots they had long desired. However, amidst the jubilant crowd, a few remained expressionless, whether calm or indifferent. Among them was the enigmatic figure cloaked in black, the illusionist Galaxy, who seemed detached from the 3 victories recently achieved. Thus, the top 100 from the trial space, combined with the 900 determined through the arena battles, collectively birthed 1,000 prodigies. They represented the finest stellar talents from the 1,008 cosmic nations of the human race in this iteration of the Genius Battle. Congratulations to you all. A gentle, ethereal voice resonated clearly in the minds of the thousand. Simultaneously, they lifted their gazes to find the venerable Sword Master of 9 Swords, draped in azure robes, smiling down upon them from the void. You are the most distinguished 1,000 among the 1,008 cosmic nations of the human race in this Genius Battle. The Sword Master's voice possessed a peculiar charm, instilling a sense of honor within them. Our virtual universe company shall devote itself to nurturing your talents. If anyone wishes to decline joining the virtual universe company, now is the time to voice your decision. A profound silence enveloped the plaza, so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. Only a fool would consider withdrawing at this juncture. Very well, the Sword Master nodded approvingly, before shifting the tone of his address. His voice remained gentle, yet a cold reality seeped in. However, you must comprehend that competition is an everlasting truth in the universe. Rivalry exists everywhere. Among you 1,000. It is impossible to receive the same treatment and resources for cultivation. Even our virtual universe company cannot afford to squander precious resources in such a manner. The hearts of all the prodigies raced, aware that the moment determining their fates was at hand. The Sword Master smiled and declared, "Now, I will announce the initial rewards you have earned in your designated realms." Among this group of 1,000, the individual ranked 101st to 1,000th would each receive a reward of 10 units of mixed essence, gain access to the initial universe for comprehension, and join the core apocalyptic realm of our virtual universe company. The apocalyptic realm. Many of the lower-ranked prodigies felt a slight dimming in their spirits, yet soon rekindled their fighting spirit. Even the lowest apocalyptic realm was still a core facet of the virtual universe company. The future still held opportunities for ascension. For those ranked 11th to 100th, their gaze swept through the middle tier, each to receive a reward of 100 units of mixed essence, gain access to the initial universe for comprehension, and join the core heavenly realm of our virtual universe company. The heavenly realm. The expressions of individuals such as Rong Jun, ranked 15th, remained calm, showing no surprise at the outcome. For those ranked 3rd to 10th, the gaze of the 9-sword sovereign fell upon the top-ranked individuals, such as Gu Siluo, Qian Shui, and Aichin, who would receive a reward of 1,000 Hunyuan units and the opportunity to enter the primordial universe for enlightenment, as well as to join the core of my virtual universe company, the Primordial Secret Realm. The Primordial Secret Realm. This is an extraordinary beginning that evokes envy in countless hearts. Ultimately, the 9-sword sovereign's attention settled on the two foremost contenders, Li Wei and Bolin, the first and second place winners. The entire venue held its breath. They were to be awarded 10,000 Hunyuan units, gain entry into the primordial universe for enlightenment, and join the core of my virtual universe company, the Original Secret Realm. The Original Secret Realm. Although anticipated, the announcement of these words stirred a suppressed commotion and countless envious gazes from below. The Original Secret Realm, the heart of the core of the virtual universe company, harbors the finest resources and the highest privileges. The 9-sword sovereign smiled and remarked, under normal circumstances, the Original Secret Realm only admits one participant per session. However, due to the exceptional caliber of your cohort, the upper echelons of the virtual universe company have deliberated and decided to grant 2 slots for this session. Li Wei's expression remained tranquil, as if the awards and opportunities enticing enough to captivate even the immortal deities were merely his due. Bolin, with a glint of sharpness in his icy gaze, glanced at Li Wei beside him, a faint surge of combat spirit rising within him. For him, the first place was the true objective. Second place was merely temporary. On the steps, Luo Feng, 4th place, listened to the announcement, clenching his fists. The Primordial Secret Realm. Splendid. Yet this was by no means his terminus. The levels of the secret realms had been established, and the initial rewards and starting points were indeed different. However, this was not an end, it was merely a beginning. The competition within the virtual universe company had only just commenced. All the talents understood that the road ahead remained long and fraught with challenges. Chapter 46. The top 100 on the arena, the illusionary enemy. The lobby of Building 0825 appeared particularly desolate. Of the 6 who had advanced, only 3 remained, Li Wei, Luo Feng, and Rong Jun. The other 3 had fallen in the harsh 3-round elimination battles, failing to secure a place among the top 1,000. The trio sat in silence, the atmosphere somewhat heavy. Rong Jun broke the silence first, his voice carrying a roughness and a hint of sentiment. The Primordial Secret Realm has very few slots. He looked at Luo Feng and Li Wei, stating, in such a vast entity as the Virtual Universe Company, there are reportedly only 100 lords in the Primordial Secret Realm. 100? Luo Feng gasped, his expression one of disbelief. The lords possess exceedingly long lifespans, and the number of lords in just the Qianwu Universe Kingdom exceeds 1 million. Given the far superior strength of the Virtual Universe Company, how many lords must it command? Probably an astronomical number. Yet, only 100 lords can enter the Primordial Secret Realm. Thus, You should comprehend how extraordinary it is that the primordial secret realm can accommodate 2 members at once, Rong Jun stated gravely. The primordial secret realm, as the core of the upper echelon of the virtual universe company, holds a transcendent status. For instance, Li Wei, though merely a stellar-level being, occupies an exceedingly elevated position. Even the emperor of your homeland, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, does not hold a status that rivals his. Luo Feng was momentarily taken aback, then fell into silence. Upon deeper reflection, this indeed appeared to be the case. In the original secret realm of the virtual universe company, there exist only 100 sovereigns. The distinctive status of its members far surpasses that of an emperor in a star domain, which is hardly surprising. Moreover, I have heard, Rongjun added, his eyes reflecting a hint of longing, that members of the original secret realm are accompanied by a specialized guard. The leader of this guard is an immortal deity. Within the guard, there are also 10 sovereigns and 100 domain masters. Even Luo Feng, who usually maintained his composure, could not help but widen his eyes and draw in a sharp breath upon hearing this. The leader of a guard assigned to a stellar-level genius is, in fact, an immortal? What extraordinary treatment and significance this entails. Li Wei sat quietly beside him, his gaze tranquil and undisturbed. He had long been aware of this information. The allocation of resources and security specifications in the original secret realm is precisely the method by which the virtual universe company cultivates its true core elites. He was not particularly concerned with these external privileges. Rather, he valued the superior cultivation environment and the opportunity to engage with higher-level principles. On the following morning, in the central square, the final 1,000 geniuses convened once more. The atmosphere was even more tense and grave than the previous day, for today would determine the ultimate rankings. Revered ones. From afar, the 1,008 immortals bowed in unison with deep respect. The sword sovereign, suspended in midair, nodded slightly, then gazed down at the 1,000 young individuals below, his gentle voice resonating throughout the square. Today is a splendid day. Within a single day, we shall select the top 100, the top 10, as well as the first and second place from among you. Are you all prepared? His gaze swept across the crowd, lingering briefly on Li Wei and Bolin, and with that, the decisive battle commenced. With a wave of his hand, 100 enormous arenas materialized instantaneously in the central square, each enveloped by a black mesh to contain any energy surges. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 200 geniuses, including Rong Jun, the illusionist Gale Shi, and Luo Feng, were instantly transported onto the arenas, with 2 individuals per arena. Li Wei found himself transported to one such arena, facing an opponent who was a psion from a formidable cosmic nation, wielding 9 fiery shuttles, radiating a strong aura. Upon recognizing Li Wei as his adversary, the psion's complexion turned pale, a flicker of despair crossing his eyes. The name of the person and the shadow of the tree, the top score in the trial space, had long ago permeated the hearts of many. The match commenced. An electronic voice announced. Gritting his teeth, the psion unleashed the 9 flaming shuttles, transforming them into 9 streaks of light, propelled towards Li Wei with a fierce resolve, while simultaneously activating his domain to impede Li Wei's movements. Li Wei did not even resort to utilizing his annihilation domain. With a simple step forward, his figure flickered like a specter, effortlessly gliding through the gaps in the fiery shuttle attacks and the domain's hindrances, as if those assaults in the domain were non-existent. The next moment, he stood right before his opponent, extending a finger like a sword, and gently pointed it forth. A fleeting whisper of imperceptible annihilation surged forth from his fingertips. With a soft sound, the protective force of the psychic master shattered instantaneously, leaving a small puncture at his brow. His gaze froze, and his body gradually succumbed, transported away. The entire sequence was executed with remarkable efficiency, taking less than a minute. Li Wei emerged victorious, securing his place among the top 100. His reward automatically escalated to 100 mixed yuan units, and his affiliation with the secret realm was temporarily designated as the Celestial Secret Realm, pending final rankings. The battles on the other platforms were far more intense. Luo Feng faced a formidable opponent, a martial artist wielding the power of lightning, characterized by blinding speed and ferocious attacks. Employing his divine weapon, Luo Feng engaged in a fierce clash, ultimately triumphing through superior comprehension of the laws and agile tactics, thus advancing into the top 100. Rong Jun, wielding his wild and domineering sword technique, also vanquished his adversary and successfully progressed. With the conclusion of the first round of arena battles, 100 victors emerged. Congratulations to the young warriors standing on the stage. The 9-sword master hovered in the air, surveying the 100 young men and women on the platform. First and foremost, congratulations on reaching the top 100. You are granted access to my virtual universe company's Celestial Secret Realm. Now, we must select the finest 20 among you. The recently victorious geniuses on the platform felt a surge of anxiety. Although they had won, only 20 would qualify for the next battle, contending for a place in the top 10. According to the selection process of the virtual universe system, I shall now announce the names of the 20 chosen. The 9-sword master's voice was calm, yet decisive, determining the fate of many. Li Wei, Bolin. Names were called forth one by one. Gu Si Luo, Ai Chen, Wu Ka, Yi Feng, Jia Laishi, Phantom Demon, Rong Jun. Each name announced deepened the pallor of those who remained unselected. Qian Shui, Luo Feng. Upon hearing Luo Feng's name, he exhaled in relief. Tao. The list of 20 was complete. Those whose names were called rejoiced, as it signified an opportunity to vie for the top 10. In contrast, those such as Candida wore expressions of discontent, feeling helpless yet unwilling to accept defeat. Please let these 20 individuals rest and recuperate from their previous battles. The next contest will commence shortly. As for your opponents, you shall learn of them in due course. The Nine-Sword Master smiled. In the Central Plaza's resting area, a group of young men and women sat casually. Candida, congratulations on breaking into the top 100. Enough, the stout Candida replied, his face a mixture of frustration and disappointment. Though I made it to the top 100, my name was not among the final 20. Each of them is a master. I doubt I could prevail. Yet, it is the uncertainty of not having fought that gnaws at me. Candida, your frustration is palpable. But I share it too. I didn't even get the chance to battle my way into the top 100, someone nearby remarked with a bitter smile. Many gazes turned toward the 20 selected individuals, particularly focusing on Li Wei, Bo Lan, and Luo Feng among them. To everyone's astonishment, Luo Feng has triumphed over Galesi. In the distance, the 1008 immortals engaged in hushed discussions. The previous clash between Luo Feng and the illusionist Galesi was deemed a focal point, with the majority of immortals anticipating a victory for the seasoned and cunning Galesi. After all, a formidable illusionist poses a significant threat to warriors of the same tier. However, the outcome was unexpected. Luo Feng, through his remarkable willpower and the formidable soul essence granted by his golden-horned giant beast avatar, withstood Galesi's illusionary onslaught and ultimately defeated him with his divine weapon. This battle further amplified Luo Feng's reputation as a madman. As the break concluded, the decisive clash for the top 10 commenced. 10 duels erupted simultaneously. Li Wei, Bo Lan, Luo Feng, Rong Jun, and others were once again transported to the arena. The battles ignited instantly, with an intensity surpassing all previous encounters. Those who made it into the top 20 were all prodigies of unparalleled caliber, each possessing formidable trump cards and secret techniques. The collision of law domains, the whistling of telekinetic weapons, and the clash of secret arts created a spectacle both dazzling and perilous. Li Wei faced off against the Sword of Life, Yi Feng, a genius with profound insights into the wood laws. However, in the face of an absolute disparity in strength, Yi Feng's life-infused yet deadly sword techniques posed no trouble for Li Wei. Remarkably, Li Wei did not even resort to his newly comprehended time-space laws or his unfinished secret arts. Relying solely on his maximally compressed annihilation domain and agility, he forced Yi Feng to concede within 3 minutes. Bo Lan's opponent was equally formidable. Yet Bo Lan's ghostly movements and sharp spatial slashes proved to be overwhelming, swiftly concluding the battle. Luo Feng encountered a strong adversary and engaged in a fierce struggle, ultimately securing a narrow victory. Rong Jun also triumphed over his opponent through sheer explosive force. One by one, the victors from the 10 matches emerged. Li Wei, Bo Lan, Qian Shui, Luo Feng, Jiang Mo, Lansluo, Uka, Aichen, Long Yun, and finally, Rong Jun. The top 10 contenders had been established. Remarkably, 3 individuals from the Qianwu Universe Nation, Li Wei, Luo Feng, and Rong Jun, had made it into the top 10. This achievement stirred a fervor throughout the entire Qianwu universe. The forthcoming battles would determine the precise rankings of these 10 individuals and, most importantly, the allocation of the 2 coveted slots in the primordial secret realms. All eyes were now focused on these 10, as the true contest of dragons and tigers was about to unfold. Chapter 47, The Pinnacle Showdown. The determination of the primordial secret realms. Hovering above the central plaza, the Nine-Sword Master, clad in azure robes with purple scales, emanated an imperceptible pressure that rendered the 1000 human geniuses and 1008 powerful immortals below breathless and reverent in his presence. Congratulations to the 10 victors. The Nine-Sword Master proclaimed with a smile, his voice gentle yet resonant, reaching every ear. You have entered the top 10, and your rewards have escalated to 1000 mixed yuan units, alongside the opportunity to enter the core primordial secret realm of my virtual universe company. His gaze swept over the 10 who had just emerged from fierce battles, including Li Wei and Bo Lan, and he nodded slightly. This contest for the top 10 has been spectacular. I was pleasantly surprised by the explosive performances of several young prodigies. Beneath the stage, 1,000 young prodigies and the venerable sages, well-versed in the ways of the universe, listened intently. To receive commendation from a cosmic sovereign serves as a testament to the caliber of this generation's talents. Li Wei, Bo Lan, Qian Shui, Luo Feng, Jiang Mo, Lansluo, Wuka, Aichen, Long Yun, and Rong Jun. Congratulations to you 10. The Nine-Sword Sovereign recited the names in succession, each signifying an extraordinary talent and prowess. He continued, in a moment, we shall select the top 5 from among you. The ultimate victor and runner-up will be chosen from this quintet. With a smile, he added, as for how you shall be grouped, it will be determined by the rules established by the virtual universe system, based on the speed of your previous victories. The fastest shall face the slowest, The second fastest shall duel the second slowest, and so forth. As his words echoed, the air shimmered with the timings of the recent matches. 1. Li Wei 000058. 2. Bolin 000115. 3. Qian Shui 000342. 4. Luo Feng 000518. 5. Jiangma 000605. 6. Lanceluo 000731. 7. Wuka 000849. 8. Aichen 000955. 9. Longyun 001120. 10. Rongjuan 001237. Consequently, according to the rules, the pairings were as follows: the swiftest, Li Wei, against the slowest, Rongjuan; the second fastest, Bolin, against the ninth, Longyun; the third, Qianshui, against the eighth, Aichen; the fourth, Luo Feng, against the seventh, Wuka; and the fifth, Jiangma, against the sixth, Lanceluo. Upon the announcement of these matchups, a subtle murmur rippled through the audience. Rongjuan, upon realizing he was to face Li Wei, wore a wry smile of resignation upon his rugged visage, quickly replaced by a fervent glint of determination. He understood the odds were stacked against him. Yet the opportunity to engage in a full-throttle battle with such a formidable opponent was a rare experience in itself. Luofeng's adversary was Wuka, a prince from the savage universe, wielding a colossal hammer with a ferocious might. This seemed a more favorable scenario compared to facing Longyun, known for his impenetrable defense in the original tale. A spark of insight shone in Luofeng's eyes as he discreetly analyzed his opponent's intelligence. Bolin faced the unreadable Longyun. Aichen clashed with Qianshui, a sisterly duel, and Jiangma contended with Lanceluo. The matches commenced immediately. The nine-sword sovereign urged, "May you all give your utmost effort." With a wave of his hand, the 10 were once again transported to 5 arenas. First arena, Li Wei versus Rongjuan. Li Wei. Rongjuan bellowed, wielding a massive battle blade, his voice resonating with thunder. Surrounded by swirling ochre energies that exuded a heavy, wild essence capable of tearing through anything. "I know I am no match for you, but I shall not concede easily. Let me witness the extent of our disparity." Li Wei regarded the fiercely determined Rongjuan with a glimmer of admiration. "As you wish." Li Wei spoke calmly, eschewing grandiosity as he directly unleashed the 9th stage of the Annihilation Domain, compressed to a mere 100 meters. In an instant, an absolute darkness descended upon the arena. Emanating from him as the center, the chilling force of annihilation sending shivers through the souls of the spectators outside. Rongjun let out a roar, fearlessly charging into the dark domain. He wielded his battle blade, striving to exploit the profound principles of earth and void, attempting to cleave through the endless annihilation. His blade radiated formidable light, managing to briefly exist within the domain, even compelling the darkness to recede slightly. Yet that was all. The deeper he ventured into the domain, the stronger the force of annihilation became. Rongjun felt his primal energy, the power of the principles, and even his will being rapidly consumed. He bellowed, unleashing his mightiest strike, the blade of light tearing through the darkness, aimed directly at the heart of the domain, Li Wei. Li Wei merely observed, pointing his finger like a sword, gently unleashing a meticulously condensed ray of annihilation that reached its target first, instantly shattering the wild blade of light. The ensuing shockwave struck Rongjun's battle blade. Clang! Rongjun's palm shattered, and the blade flew from his grasp, his body thrown back by the force. Blood spurting midair as he crashed heavily at the arena's edge, rendered nearly immobile by the domain's encroachment. "I have lost." Rongjun struggled to utter before being teleported away. Li Wei emerged victorious, decisively, and without exerting his full strength. Fourth arena, Luo Feng versus Wuka. This was a clash of brute force. Wuka wielded a fearsome giant hammer, its power ferocious, each swing capable of shattering stars. Infused with the primal strength unique to the wild cosmic nation, Luo Feng employed the illusory sword technique of the godly transformation. 9 strands of golden light akin to cunning golden serpents, entwining, piercing, and blocking, colliding repeatedly with the giant hammer, igniting dazzling sparks of energy. He no longer relied solely on brute strength, but leveraged the agility of the godly transformation and his comprehension of the principle of gold to seek gaps in Yuka's power. Wuka roared in frustration. Though his hammer technique was domineering, its variations were relatively simple, allowing Luo Feng to evade critical strikes or counterattack effectively. As the stalemate persisted, Wuka grew increasingly impatient, revealing flaws in his technique. Luo Feng's gaze sharpened, seizing an opening. Surging heaven style, the 9 golden lights coalesced into an exquisitely penetrating golden slender sword, its speed soaring as it darted towards the exposed side of Wuka. A gap revealed by his hammer swing. Wuka's pupils constricted, and he could not defend in time. With a piercing sound, the golden slender sword penetrated his protective primal energy. While not fatal, the immense impact instantly disrupted his balance and the flow of his primal energy. Luo Feng followed closely, the blade flashing. Wuka was defeated. Luo Feng emerged victorious, successfully advancing into the top 5. This outcome astonished many who had favored Yuka's strength, eliciting cheers from the supporters of the Qianwu Cosmic Nation. Other arenas, Bolin faced off against Longyun. Long Yun's defense was exceptionally robust. The heavy earth domain combined with a special secret technique resembling a turtle shell. However, Berlan's swordsmanship was exceptionally swift and enigmatic, embodying profound mysteries of spatial cutting. Ultimately, he discovered the vulnerabilities in Long Yun's defenses and struck with a single, decisive blow. Berlan emerged victorious. The clash between Aichen and Qian Shui, the sisters wielding lightsabers, was a spectacle to behold, culminating in Aichen's superior technique. Aichen triumphed. The confrontation between Jiang Ma and Lancelot was equally intense, with Jiang Ma securing victory through a more stable performance. Jiang Ma claimed victory. Thus, the top 5 were established: Li Wei, Berlan, Aichen, Luo Feng, and Jiang Ma. This outcome caused quite a stir, as the Qianwu Cosmic Nation boasted 2 individuals, Li Wei and Luo Feng, in the top 5. What an honor! The Nine-Sword Sovereign reappeared, wearing an ever-satisfied smile. Truly remarkable. This competition for the top 5 has indeed been exhilarating and full of surprises. Everyone, take a moment to rest before we commence the round-robin battles. The rules are as follows. Each of the top 5 must face the other 4 in combat, with victors earning 1 point and the defeated receiving none. The final rankings will determine the first and second places. The round-robin battles. This entails that each participant must engage in 4 matches, serving as a comprehensive test of strength, endurance, and recovery. After a brief respite, the round-robin battles commenced in earnest. The 5 duels did not unfold simultaneously but rather sequentially, ensuring that each combatant could face their opponent in a relatively complete state. Li Wei's 4 matches were devoid of suspense. Against Berlan, Berlan's spatial illusions and cutting sword techniques were formidable. Yet under the influence of Li Wei's all-encompassing Oblivion domain and the nascent application of temporal laws, he ultimately failed to conjure a miracle. Li Wei even employed the unfinished concept of eternal moment. Although merely a prototype, the instant stagnation and annihilation instilled a sense of lethal threat in Berlan, leading to his defeat. Against Aichen, Aichen's mastery of light laws was equally intricate, but it was entirely countered by Li Wei's perfected light laws and the essence of annihilation, resulting in a swift defeat. Against Luo Feng, a brotherly duel ensued. Luo Feng exerted all his effort, wielding both divine weaponry and battle blades, even achieving breakthroughs mid-battle. Li Wei, however, adopted a more instructive approach, deftly countering all of Luo Feng's assaults while highlighting his shortcomings, ultimately sending him off the stage. This battle proved immensely beneficial for Luo Feng. Against Jiang Ma, a comfortable victory. After Berlan's loss to Li Wei, he went on to triumph over Aichen, Luo Feng, and Jiang Ma, showcasing an absolute strength second only to Li Wei. Aichen defeated Luo Feng and Jiang Ma, but succumbed to Li Wei and Berlan. Luo Feng bested Jiang Ma, but was defeated by Li Wei, Berlan, and Aichen. Jiang Ma, unfortunately, faced defeat in all 4 of his matches. The final point rankings were as follows. Li Wei, 4 wins, 0 losses, 4 points, ranked first. Berlan, 3 wins, 1 loss, 3 points, ranked second. Aichen, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 points, ranked third. Luo Feng, 1 win, 3 losses, 1 point, ranked fourth. Jiang Ma, 0 wins, 4 losses, 0 points, ranked 5th. The top 2 have been confirmed. They will gain entry into the primordial secret realm. After all the battles concluded, the 1,000 prodigies and 1,008 immortals reconvened in the central square. The sovereign of the 9 swords gazed downwards, his voice resonating with grandeur. From the 1st to the 10th, Ai Chan, Luo Feng, Jiang Imo, Qian Shui, Lanci Luo, Wu Ka, Long Yun, Rong Jun. From the 11th to the 100th, and from the 101st to the 1000th. These 4 tiers have been selected in their entirety. The peak talent selection battle of this cosmic human event has reached a splendid conclusion today. A smile adorned his face as he continued. This cohort is exceptionally remarkable. I believe that centuries, and even millennia from now, many among you will achieve renown throughout the universe. Shortly, a representative will reach out to you, guiding you to the headquarters of my virtual universe company, where you will gather before proceeding to the primordial universe. His voice deepened, imbued with anticipation. From this moment forth, your path shall no longer be ordinary. My virtual universe company shall provide unwavering support. Whether you ascend to become illustrious beings of the cosmos, ordinary powerhouses, or fall by the wayside, all depends upon your own efforts. Strive diligently, for your journey as formidable beings has only just commenced. The voice of the sovereign of the 9 swords echoed in every mind, marking a resounding conclusion to this grand battle of peak talents, while simultaneously unveiling a new chapter towards their celestial odyssey of strength. In every gaze, there shimmered a blend of hope and determination for the future, particularly for Li Wei. His eyes seemed to pierce through the void, envisioning the vast and exhilarating primordial universe and the arcane mysteries that lay beyond. Chapter 48, The Arrival of the Spaceship. A journey of 3 years begins. The tumult and glory of the peak talent battle gradually settled, transforming into a more tangible anticipation and bittersweet longing. The 1,000 successful candidates selected for the core tier of the Virtual Universe Company were guided by staff to the 2nd floor of Restaurant Number 2, near the Central Plaza. This space had been arranged into a simple yet spacious conference room, where the 1,000 talents took their seats in succession, engaging in hushed conversations. The atmosphere a mix of excitement, tension, and dreams of the unknown future. After a brief moment, a man, towering at approximately 2 meters and 67 centimeters, adorned with peculiar markings on his neck and a benevolent smile, approached the front of the conference room. His gaze swept over this assembly, the future hope of the human race, and he spoke with a warm smile. Greetings, esteemed talents. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Mana, responsible for facilitating your transition to the company headquarters. Silence enveloped the room as all eyes turned towards him. Given their origins from 1,008 cosmic nations scattered across the universe, Mana's voice was clear and gentle. The Virtual Universe Company must arrange dedicated spacecraft to escort you. Now, please inscribe your precise planetary addresses on the paper before you, so we can efficiently plan our routes and ensure timely reception. A pristine sheet of paper and a pen rose before each individual. Li Wei grasped the pen, hesitating not for a moment. The coordinates of Earth were of utmost secrecy and must never be disclosed. He and Luo Feng had already agreed to designate the nearby planet of Bailan, within the territory of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, as their point of connection, mirroring the original narrative. He wrote fluidly, the Qianwu Universe Nation, the Black Dragon Mountain Star region, the Milky Way, and the White Orchid Star. He noticed Luo Feng not far away, making the same choice. Their gazes briefly met, and they exchanged a subtle nod, a silent pact of protection for their homeland. In the conference room, young prodigies from various cosmic nations were engrossed in their writing. Some appeared calm, while others bore expressions of contemplation. Soon, a question arose. Is it truly necessary to go through all this trouble? A youth with a horn on his head exclaimed. Why not simply provide us with the coordinates of the headquarters? We could travel there ourselves in our spacecraft. Indeed. Someone nearby echoed. There's no need for such complications. It seems quite burdensome for you. On stage, Mana maintained a warm smile as he patiently explained. This is due to the journey traversing numerous cosmic nations, with distances that are exceedingly vast. Many civilian spacecraft have limited speeds when navigating through the dark universe. Relying solely on personal means to reach the company's intergalactic headquarters would undoubtedly require an arduous amount of time. He paused, presenting a more tangible statistic for everyone to grasp. According to our calculations, among the 1,000 talented individuals present, the one furthest from the company headquarters is approximately 1.5 billion light-years away. 1.5 billion light-years. This figure drew gasps from several prodigies hailing from remote star regions. Mana continued. The ratio of distance between the dark universe and the original universe is roughly 110,081,000. Even so, traveling at the speed of light within the dark universe to cover a distance of 1.5 billion light-years in the original universe would take about 150 years. 150 years. For prodigies who possess lifespans of millennia, this journey, while not fatal, would indeed be a tedious and protracted endeavor. Of course, this is merely the most extreme scenario. Mana said with a smile. However, to conserve your precious time for cultivation, it is optimal for our Virtual Universe Company to arrange the finest spacecraft for your transportation. His expression grew slightly more serious. Moreover, there is another crucial reason, safety. Travel in the dark universe is not without risks. In certain cosmic zones, one might encounter cosmic marauders or even face plundering by hostile factions. Each of you is a pillar of the company's future. Your safety is paramount and must not be compromised. His words resonated with reason, and the few prodigies who had questioned him nodded in silent agreement, refraining from further remarks. Safety and efficiency indeed represent the foremost advantages of the company's transportation service. As the data collection was completed, Mana's words faded, and beams of colorful light descended from the ceiling, meticulously scanning the papers before each individual. Subsequently, a colossal luminous screen appeared at the front of the conference hall, displaying a complex cosmic star map alongside a multitude of incomprehensible data symbols. Mana scrutinized the screen for a moment before turning to face the audience. His smile unwavering. Ladies and gentlemen, the addresses you provided have all been duly recorded. Based on your diverse geographical locations, and in conjunction with our current spacecraft resources, the system has computed the most optimal transportation plan. Due to the varying distances from the headquarters, the speeds of the arranged spacecraft will differ. However, we assure you that all of you will arrive at the headquarters on the same day. Mana confidently announced that the entire transportation process is expected to take approximately 3 years. 3 years, in comparison to the centuries it might take for self-travel. This efficiency is nothing short of astonishing. This undoubtedly showcases the formidable technological prowess and resource allocation capabilities of the Virtual Universe Company. Even more astonishing revelations were yet to come. With a hint of pride in his tone, Mana stated that the transport arranged for all of you is exclusively F-class spacecraft. A wave of hushed gasps rippled through the audience. F-class spacecraft. These are the vehicles commonly used by immortal deities, immensely valuable. Many powerful realm masters might not even possess one. Mana's subsequent words stirred the hearts of the talented individuals present. Furthermore, this is not an ordinary F-class spacecraft that can be easily purchased in the external market, but rather a special model of F-class spacecraft manufactured internally by the Virtual Universe Company. The technological sophistication contained within far surpasses that of similar products circulating in various cosmic nations. Upon hearing this, even Li Wei felt a stir in his heart. F-class spacecraft. His current mechanical clan vessel is merely of E9 grade. Although its performance is exceptional, it undeniably falls short in terms of classification. The magnitude of the Virtual Universe Company's undertaking is indeed remarkable. This is merely the transportation tool for the pickup. The treatment for core members is indicative of even greater privileges. With that, Mana clapped his hands and declared that everyone could now disperse. Shortly, the Virtual Universe Company will send you a dedicated letter notifying you of the precise pickup time. Please ensure that you are prepared at the location you have specified, so that we can find you without difficulty. He smiled warmly, infusing his tone with a touch of humanity. Make sure to spend this final period cherishing your family and friends. Once we embark and enter the core of the company, you shall be away from your hometown for an extended duration, commencing an entirely new journey. As the meeting concluded, the talented individuals departed with mixed emotions. Li Wei and Luo Feng exchanged brief farewells, promising to reunite at headquarters before returning to reality. In the tangible universe, on Earth, Li Wei opened his eyes from his meditative state. Outside the window was a cerulean planet set against an infinite starry sky. He soon received an email from the Virtual Universe Company, notifying him that he would be picked up to arrive at White Orchid Star in 12 days. The letter also specified an important detail. The time spent comprehending within the initial universe would be 30 years. However, it is essential to note that the flow of time in the initial universe does not synchronize with that of the original universe. Time flows more slowly in the initial universe. While 30 years would pass in the initial universe, 100 years would elapse in the original universe. The disparity in the flow of time reflects the enigmatic nature of the initial universe, and Li Wei diligently noted this crucial information. This implies that their departure will equate to a century for their friends and family in the original universe. During the 12 days of waiting for the pickup, Li Wei made no waste of time. He calmed his mind and systematically reviewed his current attributes and hidden cards, preparing for the impending cultivation in the initial universe and the competition within the company. Realm, Stellar Level 9 Tier, Ultimate Suppression. The reserve of realm value far exceeds breakthrough requirements. Core System, Damage Absorption and Conversion System. This system can indiscriminately absorb all forms of damage and convert it into realm value. This serves as his greatest source of confidence in the Genius battle. Domain, Annihilation Domain, 9th Tier. A radius of 150 meters, with terrifying power, nearly unsolvable within the stellar level, capable of compressing and enhancing annihilation density. Understanding of laws. Light law, perfect, 100. The essence is thoroughly clarified, allowing him to embody light. Striking with speed and ultimate penetration, giving rise to myriad forms. Wind law, preliminary mastery, enhances speed and ferocity of movement, attempting to integrate with the light law. Space law, upper tier preliminary entry. Can skillfully perform void walking over distances of tens of thousands of kilometers with a very short cooldown. Initially grasps small-scale space confinement and distortion. Time law, upper-tier preliminary entry. Can very slightly influence the flow of time in a minuscule surrounding area, accelerating or decelerating. Used to assist in cultivation or seizing combat opportunities. Secret technique prototype, Eternal Moment. A unique secret technique that fuses annihilation, light, wind, and the laws of time and space. Incomplete but immensely powerful, with significant costs and backlash. Requiring further refinement. Movement technique. Combines void walking with light and wind laws, approaching instinct, exhibiting strong short-distance teleportation and evasion. Weapons and equipment. No particular reliance on external items. The 5th-tier original force weapons and battle suits provided by the Virtual Universe Company are standardized for the Genius battle. Existing equipment in reality is relatively outdated, with expectations for company resources. Advantages. Absolute defense system, superlative domain, multiple law comprehensions, including 2 upper-tier laws, unique secret technique potential. Areas for improvement. The realm needs to break through to cosmic level at the appropriate moment. The laws of time and space require deeper understanding. The Eternal Moment secret technique needs refinement, and higher-tier weapons and secret techniques must be acquired. Having organized his thoughts, Li Wei's path became increasingly clear. Entering the Virtual Universe Company, particularly the original secret realm, will provide him with unprecedented resources and environment to address these areas for improvement. 12 days passed in the blink of an eye. Li Wei bid farewell to his parents, Li Yao and Vin Nina, and quietly arrived at the cold storage base on White Orchid Star through a hidden interstellar teleportation array set up on Earth. Standing amidst the ice and snow, gazing at the starry sky, he felt a sense of calm and anticipation within. The 3-year journey of guidance and 30 years of initial cosmic enlightenment. The true path of a formidable warrior. This F-class spaceship shall mark the true beginning of his voyage toward the stars and the vast seas. Soon, a beautifully designed dark spaceship, emanating powerful energy fluctuations, tore through the void like a phantom, appearing in the outer space of White Orchid Star and slowly descending toward its designated coordinates. The guidance from the Virtual Universe Company has arrived. Chapter 49. Privileges of the Original Secret Realm. First arrival at the virtual headquarters. The sleek, jet-black F-class battleship, resembling a divine weapon traversing through the annals of time, descended with a harmonious blend of ancient gravitas and technological coldness above the frozen storage base on Blanc Star. An invisible force emanating from the vessel caused the surrounding snowflakes to momentarily halt their descent, as if in reverence. The cabin door slid open silently, and a figure emerged, landing gracefully before Li Wei. This was a lean, elderly man clad in dark purple battle armor. His visage was unremarkable, yet his gaze held a warm depth, as if it contained the birth and demise of stars. As he stood there, the space around him seemed to solidify, and Li Wei could distinctly sense the immense power within this elder, far surpassing any realm lord he had encountered. Even more subdued and unfathomable than the pressure exerted by the immortal deities he had felt during the genius battle. Your Highness, the lean elder bowed slightly, his tone imbued with respect for a core member of the Virtual Universe Company, yet his demeanor remained neither servile nor overbearing. I am Kendry, the commander of the escort army sent by the Virtual Universe Company to guide you to the headquarters. Should this name reach the ears of the outside world, it would undoubtedly stir up a sensation, epitomizing the esteemed status of the original Secret Realm members. Thank you, Mr. Kendry, Li Wei replied with a calm demeanor. Acknowledging the elder's presence, he noticed another realm lord in standard battle armor approaching Ro Feng on the opposite side for a similar purpose. On the same planet, an F-class spacecraft retrieving two prodigies was undeniably the most efficient arrangement, yet the ranks of those who came to escort them varied significantly due to the Secret Realm's hierarchy. Your Highness, please board the ship, Kendry gestured aside. Li Wei cast a final glance at the icy expanse and the distant Ro Feng, both exchanging a nod of understanding before turning to enter the sword-shaped vessel. The interior of the ship was far more spacious than its exterior suggested, adorned not in ostentatious luxury, but rather exuding a sense of advanced technology and practicality. A soft glow pulsed along the metallic walls, indicative of the energy circuits at work. Kendry guided Li Wei to a spacious lounge. Your Highness, the ship is about to embark on its voyage through the dark universe. The journey to the company headquarters will take approximately 3 years, Kendry remarked with a smile. As per tradition, before we commence our journey, I must introduce you to the virtual universe, allowing you to familiarize yourself with the company's virtual headquarters. This will serve as an important platform for our prolonged stay and communication in the future. Very well, Li Wei had anticipated this. Your Highness, let us both enter the virtual universe, Kendry stated, and almost simultaneously, they connected a thread of consciousness to the virtual universe network. The virtual universe, a unique dimension, unveiled itself as Li Wei's and Kendry's consciousness materialized at the foot of an immense floating peak. Shrouded in swirling clouds, the mountain soared beyond sight, its enormity almost suffocating, dwarfing even an ordinary planet. Dense cosmic energy, simulated within the virtual universe, coalesced into mist that flowed through the valleys, revealing countless exquisite structures that intermittently appeared and vanished. Your Highness, Kendry introduced with a hint of pride in his voice. Welcome to the virtual headquarters of our Virtual Universe Company. In comparison to our physical headquarters, this place is indeed far more vibrant. Due to the formidable presence of the company, it is impossible to remain at the physical headquarters at all times. However, one can effortlessly log into the virtual universe to connect with others. He gestured towards the colossal mountain before him. This peak, shrouded in mist, is known as Rain Aspect Mountain, with a diameter of approximately 890,000 kilometers. It serves as the epicenter for the immortal core members of the company and stands as the most significant base for cultivating extraordinary talent. Li Wei gazed in awe at this miraculous mountain, his heart stirred. A diameter of 890,000 kilometers. This is several times larger than that of Earth. The depth of the Virtual Universe Company is vividly evident. Rain Aspect Mountain is divided into 5 distinct regions. Kendry continued to guide Li Wei forward while elaborating on each area. The Primitive Zone, the Primordial Zone, the Celestial Zone, the Apocalyptic Zone, and the Public Zone. Each region covers a roughly equivalent area, yet the living conditions and the number of members vary drastically. Kendry's tone conveyed a clear hierarchy. The Primitive Zone has a permanent membership cap of no more than 120 individuals. The Primordial Zone hosts over 1,000 members, while the Celestial Zone accommodates approximately 10,000. In stark contrast, the Apocalyptic Zone boasts a membership exceeding 10 million. Li Wei could not help but marvel at the disparity. Over 10 million in the Apocalyptic Zone versus fewer than 120 in the Primitive Zone is an astonishing difference. Kendry pointed towards a distant cluster of towering edifices. Those are the residences of the Apocalyptic Zone members. Each person afforded their own apartment. He then indicated a different area, where rows of villas stand. This is the Celestial Zone, with each individual possessing their own villa. The Primordial Zone, in turn, is graced with exclusive training facilities and learning spaces, a veritable luxury. Kendry's gaze ultimately ascended to the higher reaches of the mountain, where the clouds thickened, lending an air of profound mystery and tranquility. In the Primitive Zone, where Your Highness resides, the total population is just over 100. Thus, each member enjoys an opulent estate with a diameter of over 1,000 kilometers. Within these estates, the finest training facilities are readily available. accompanied by immortal instructors for long-term guidance, a multitude of servants, and the ability to summon various training partners according to individual needs. A hint of envy flickered in Kandri's eyes. This is where the company truly invests its core resources. Li Wei felt a surge of excitement. An estate with a diameter of 1,000 kilometers? It is nothing short of an independent kingdom. The privileges of the primitive zone indeed far surpass those of the other realms. As for the public zone, Kandri added, it serves as an area for commerce, entertainment, and communication, accessible to members from all 4 residential zones. However, it is crucial to note that members from the primitive, primordial, celestial, and apocalyptic zones are not permitted to freely enter one another's residential areas. At this moment, Kandri pointed towards the distant horizon of Rain Aspect Mountain, where, in the depths of the infinite void, a colossal island could be faintly discerned, surrounded by tumultuous storms that exuded an overwhelming pressure. Your Highness, please look over there. Li Wei followed the direction of his gaze. Even from a great distance, he could sense the grandeur and enigma of that island. That is Thunder Island, also known as Immortal Island. Kandri's voice was imbued with reverence. Its expanse dwarfs that of Rain Aspect Mountain by hundreds or even thousands of times. Generally, all the immortals of the virtual universe company reside there. Yuxiang Mountain is a cradle of genius, whereas Thunder Island is the true realm of formidable power. The epicenter of authority. Li Wei silently noted this. Thunder Island, a sanctuary of immortality, is a place he is destined to tread in the future. Your Highness, I shall now escort you to the primitive zone. However, I can only take you to the periphery. The inner regions must be explored and managed by you, Kandri remarked. As for his companion, Luo Feng, he was naturally guided to the primordial area by the Domain Master's envoy. The two traversed through a teleportation passage within Yuxiang Mountain, instantly arriving at the outskirts of an area enveloped by a colossal luminous membrane. The membrane emanated a soft yet authoritative aura, adorned with intricate mystical patterns that seemed to flow subtly. The environment here was even more serene and beautiful, with cosmic energy so dense it felt almost tangible. Your Highness, I shall leave you here. You may enter directly. The virtual universe system has already recorded your permissions, Kandri bowed. Thank you, Li Wei nodded, then stepped into the luminous membrane. The moment he passed through, it felt as though he had entered an entirely different realm. Purified energy surged into his virtual body, revealing vast mountains, lakes, and forests before him, while in the distance, the silhouette of a grand estate, harmoniously blending modern aesthetics with natural beauty, became faintly discernible. That would be his residence in the virtual universe, manor number 114 in the primitive zone, hypothetical designation. At that moment, Li Wei received an email from the Virtual Universe Company. Sender, Virtual Universe Company. Recipient, Li Wei, Primitive Secret Realm. Subject, congratulations and notification of core member permissions and considerations. The email's content was clear and concise. Li Wei, congratulations on becoming an official member of the Primitive Secret Realm. The Virtual Universe Company has arranged various training programs for the younger generation, commencing at the cosmic level. Thus, your primary task at present is to achieve a breakthrough to the cosmic level. There is no need for concern. Upon concluding your training in the initial universe, I am confident that you will effortlessly surpass this milestone. You have been granted 100,000 points as a complimentary gift from the company. You may utilize these points to procure any items you require from the company's treasury list, as long as your points suffice. Recommendation: utilize the forthcoming 3 years of your journey to prioritize the purchase and cultivation of techniques that suit you. This is a crucial period for establishing a solid foundation. Important reminder: do not squander your precious time on accumulating primordial energy or mental power, which pertains to quantitative accumulation. The progression from stellar grade first order to ninth order is a matter of quantitative accumulation. However, the transition from stellar grade ninth order to cosmic grade first order signifies a leap in life genes, representing a qualitative breakthrough. Similarly, the transitions from cosmic grade first to ninth, domain master first to ninth, and realm master first to ninth all pertain to quantitative accumulation. The significant transitions from cosmic grade to domain master to realm master, and realm master to immortal embody the essential leaps in life genes. The company possesses the capability and willingness to provide invaluable resources to every core member free of charge, assisting them in a remarkably short span of time to accumulate strength and elevate their bodies to a state of saturation at the current level. For instance, once one transcends to the first tier of the cosmic level, the company can swiftly enhance their original energy and mental prowess to the pinnacle of the ninth tier. As for the leap in life genetics and qualitative breakthroughs, such advancements rely on the individual efforts, comprehension, and fortunes of each member. The company's principle is to allow core members to conserve the time spent on energy accumulation, enabling them to devote their entire focus to enhancing their combat prowess, grasping the fundamental laws, and mastering potent secret techniques. Upon reading the email, a remarkable light ignited in Li Wei's eyes. This was perfectly suited to him. The rules seemed tailor-made. He felt an overwhelming joy within. His damage absorption transformation system excelled in facilitating various qualitative breakthroughs. Whether ascending from a star to the cosmos or from the cosmos to a domain master, as long as he accumulated sufficient realm value. Breaking through bottlenecks would be as effortless as a flowing stream. After the breakthrough, the long and tedious process of accumulating quantity could be swiftly achieved through the resources of the Virtual Universe Company. This was a perfect complement. It meant he could invest all his time and energy into the core comprehension of laws, the creation of secret techniques, and combat, without the distraction of energy accumulation. His rate of growth would far surpass the imaginations of others. With this in mind, why wait any longer? Li Wei's consciousness rapidly returned to the rest area of the spacecraft. He turned to Kandri beside him and said, "Mr. Kandri, I have gained insight and require a period of seclusion. Please do not allow any disturbances." A flicker of surprise crossed Kandri's eyes, but he promptly nodded, "Rest assured. Your Highness, there will be no interruptions." Li Wei settled into a cross-legged position, his mind sinking into his inner self. During the Battle of Geniuses, he had absorbed a vast amount of damage, though most was converted by the system into realm value storage, and he had not truly been harmed. Coupled with his deliberate guidance of energy impacts to accumulate realm value, he had already reached a terrifying level, more than sufficient for a breakthrough to the cosmic level. Breakthrough. He ceased to suppress his realm. The vast reservoir of realm value within him, guided by the system, instantaneously transformed into the purest essence of life force, surging against the formidable barrier between the stellar and cosmic levels. Boom. It was as if the universe had just begun, and the levels of life experienced a cataclysmic transformation. Every cell in his body rejoiced, his genetic structure optimized and reconfigured, while the core of his soul expanded and solidified. The original energy stars and mental power spheres shattered in an instant, and then reformed into a more intricate, stable, and higher energy cosmic structure. The strength of his body, the intensity of his soul, the quality and totality of his original energy, as well as the quality and totality of his mental power, were all undergoing an essential leap. This process unfolded effortlessly, without any hindrance. In just a moment, he reached the first tier of the cosmic level. Li Wei opened his eyes, feeling the surging power within him and the clearer perception of the cosmic laws, a smile curling at the corners of his lips. Before breaking through to the primordial universe, he sought to elevate his starting point and enhance his efficiency during the 30 years of enlightenment within that realm. Subsequently, he intended to utilize the 3-year journey to thoroughly examine the company's treasure trove and select the most suitable secret techniques for himself. Li Wei once again connected to the virtual universe, directly entering his estate in the primitive zone. Within the opulent study of his manor, a colossal virtual screen materialized before him, displaying an overwhelming array of secret tomes, weapons, treasures, and materials from the vast repository of the Virtual Universe Company. His account boasted a staggering sum of 100,000 points, sufficient for him to exchange for the most elite inheritances at the stellar level, now cosmic level. For Li Wei, immersed in the cultivation of secret techniques, the 3 years of dark cosmic travel passed in the blink of an eye. In the spaceship's control room, the immortal voice of Kandri resonated. "Your Highness, we are about to initiate cosmic traversal, returning to the original universe and arriving at the company's headquarters." Li Wei roused from his meditation and approached the expansive viewport. The cosmic traversal commenced, entering the primordial universe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As the countdown concluded, the spacecraft trembled slightly, and the dazzling, ethereal landscape of the dark universe faded, replaced by a dreamlike yet tangible starry sky. In the distant expanse of the cosmos, a breathtaking sight captivated Li Wei's entire gaze. A vast supercontinent, unfathomable and beyond verbal description. It hung serenely in the celestial expanse, emanating an aura of ancient grandeur and majesty, as though it were the very heart of the universe. The headquarters of the Virtual Universe Company had arrived. Li Wei gazed at the continent, a surge of ambition swelling within him. Here would be his true launchpad for ascension. The primordial universe, the chaotic city, countless powerful beings of the human race, and the boundless mysteries of the cosmos awaited him ahead. The F-class spaceship transformed into a streak of light, racing towards the floating continent. Chapter 50. Approaching the chaotic city, 3 treasures choose the path to enlightenment. The peculiar fish-shaped vessel carried 1,000 of the top talents selected through the pinnacle genius battle, guided by a tall, red-eyed immortal presence whose aura was both awe-inspiring and chilling, as it departed from the headquarters continent of the Virtual Universe Company, venturing into the depths of space. After a prolonged flight, the spaceship gradually came to a halt. "Stop!" A voice, akin to thunder, reverberated from the outside, carrying an unparalleled authority that penetrated the ship's barriers and echoed in the ears of every genius aboard. The terrifying pressure embedded in the sound sent shivers through the souls of these stellar-level individuals, and a few, like Li Wei, who had just broken through to cosmic level, leaving their faces pale and causing some to stumble and fall. They were starkly reminded of how fragile the halo of genius appeared before true cosmic powerhouses. "It is I who shall open the cosmic passage." The enigmatic figure in a green battle robe, a man with purple scales, spoke with an air of indifference. His voice was calm, yet it resonated through the spaceship, echoing in the outside world. Instantly, the spaceship reactivated, but this time, the sensation was entirely different. A wave of inexplicable dizziness and discomfort washed over everyone. as if the very fabric of time and space were twisting and tearing apart. We now found ourselves within the passage between the primal universe and the original universe. The man with purple scales cast a calm gaze over a group of disoriented youths and explained, the flow of time in the primal universe differs from that of the original universe, resulting in a chaotic temporal state within this passage, which may cause you some discomfort. Just endure a little longer. Upon hearing his words, the prodigies suddenly realized their predicament, suppressing their unease. Their curiosity about the enigmatic primal universe deepening. Time passed, though its measure was indeterminate, and the disorienting sensation abruptly vanished. The spacecraft stabilized. We have arrived in the primal universe, the purple-scaled man announced, and shortly we will reach Chaos City. Chaos City is a sanctuary for seekers who dwell and cultivate within the primal universe. You are those I have brought forth, and I hope to see you all alive in 30 years' time. His words, though delivered with a sense of calm, sent a chill through everyone's hearts. The 30-year period of comprehension was fraught with uncertainty, as competition and peril lurked at every turn. As the hatch opened, 1,000 prodigies followed the purple-scaled man and the immortal guards out of the spacecraft. The scene that greeted them was nothing short of astonishing. The sky was not the clear azure they had anticipated, but rather a dark and heavy expanse, occasionally streaked by peculiar, colorful currents. Most astonishingly, numerous fissures marred the sky, their edges adorned with a myriad of strange arcane symbols, as if the cosmos itself had just been born, and the laws of existence were being laid bare. The visible fluctuations of the fundamental laws of the universe danced in the air, on the ground, and in the heavens, their clarity surpassing any place within the original universe. Is this truly the primal universe? The laws of cosmic operation, clearly visible. Li Wei inhaled deeply, feeling every cell in his body rejoice, with his perception of light, wind, and even time and space becoming extraordinarily vivid. Indeed, this was a sacred ground for cultivation. Esteemed guests, I am the emissary of Chaos City, a black-robed man. His head adorned with azure scales, descended with a smile. This city, known as Chaos City, has existed far longer than most of the universes you inhabit. It is jointly governed by the Virtual Universe Corporation, the Giant Axe Combat Arena, the First Bank of the Universe, the Galaxy Bank, and the Universe Mercenary Alliance. The gathered prodigies listened in rapt silence. Follow me, the emissary instructed, descending as 1,000 individuals followed like a swarm of locusts, landing upon the broad streets. Flanking the thoroughfare were numerous quaint buildings, all sharing a harmonious architectural style. Many rooftops bore figures of varying appearances, seated in meditation, gazing up at the swirling symbols within the sky's fissures or lost in profound contemplation, enveloped in powerful waves of law. Chaos City, steeped in antiquity, had been the site of countless strong practitioners seeking enlightenment, birthing one superlative being after another. As the emissary walked, he elaborated, within the city, there are numerous small buildings. Their doors a pale white, signifying they are unclaimed. You shall place your hand upon the door for a moment, and it will transform to a deep gray, automatically designating you as the owner. Remember, each person may only select one residence. He pointed to an unoccupied building for demonstration. Time is precious, and none wish to squander it. Follow me to the Lord's mansion. The dark-robed envoy, having spoken, leaped directly from the terrace to the street below. The talented individuals swiftly followed suit. The Lord's mansion loomed majestically, exuding an aura of reverence. Upon the grand entrance hung 3 monumental characters, Lord's mansion. Li Wei merely cast a glance, yet felt as though those 3 characters transformed into chaotic whirlpools, threatening to consume his very soul. He hastily diverted his gaze, his heart racing with trepidation. The 3 characters of the Lord's mansion, one glance suffices. Do not stare excessively, the dark-robed envoy chuckled, for it may induce a state of disorientation. Even the immortal beings typically refrain from gazing upon them for long. The crowd shuddered, refraining from further scrutiny. Upon entering the inner sanctum of the Lord's mansion, they arrived at a spacious corridor. Chaos City stood as the sole city within the primordial universe, housing 3 treasures, the dark-robed envoy declared with gravity. The first treasure, as you can see, is the visible laws governing the universe. Comprehending these laws here proves far more efficient than in the original universe. The second treasure resides within this mansion. He gestured toward the mesmerizing corridor ahead, which led to the secret chamber for cultivating the Chaos Tablets. Chaos Tablets? Many of the prodigies displayed expressions of confusion. The envoy's tone brimmed with utmost reverence. Chaos City possesses the most precious 52 Chaos Tablets. Each tablet is inscribed with a myriad of enigmatic patterns and ancient scripts, embodying paths that lead directly to the pinnacle of the universe. The 52 tablets represent the ultimate directions for cultivation. Should anyone fully comprehend a single Chaos Tablet, ascending to a superlative existence within the cosmos becomes effortless. Even establishing a cosmic dominion is not an arduous task. This declaration caused all the talented individuals to breathe rapidly. To establish a cosmic dominion? What an extraordinary realm. These Chaos Tablets were indeed remarkable treasures. These 52 Chaos Tablets constitute the second treasure of our Chaos City. The dark-robed envoy smiled. Each cultivator entering the primordial universe is granted a complimentary opportunity to comprehend the Chaos Tablets for 7 days. After this period, should one wish to delve into their understanding again, they must exchange points for additional time. Points hold immense significance within Chaos City. His gaze swept over the crowd. Each individual may select only one Chaos Tablet for observation and comprehension. This choice is paramount, as it may very well determine your future primary cultivation path. You now have half an hour to peruse the illustrated introductions regarding the 52 Chaos Tablets displayed along the corridor walls, and then make your selection. No sooner had he finished speaking than 1,000 prodigies surged toward the enchanting corridor. The walls on either side were adorned with enormous illustrations, accompanied by detailed descriptions elucidating the names and characteristics of each Chaos Tablet. Giant Axe Chaos Tablet, Heartscar Chaos Tablet, Dragon's Path Chaos Tablet. Each resonated with awe-inspiring titles, representing grand avenues leading to the zenith. Li Wei too focused his mind, scrutinizing the illustrations. He understood that this decision would be pivotal in shaping his future path, necessitating utmost caution. He was acutely aware of his advantages. He had mastered the law of light to perfection, grasped the fundamentals of the law of wind, and had a preliminary understanding of the higher laws of space and time. At the core of his abilities lay the annihilation domain and the evolving secret technique, Eternal Instance. What he required was a chaos steel that could maximize his current strengths while guiding him further into the realms of time, space, light, wind, and the very essence of annihilation. The cosmic chaos steel encompassed the profound mysteries of the universe's spacetime, a vast and intricate domain that was exceedingly difficult to access. However, once mastered, the potential it promised was limitless. Li Wei felt a surge of excitement. This aligned perfectly with his innate talent for spacetime manipulation. The light chaos steel specialized in the law of light, reaching the utmost limits of its essence. It would solidify and deepen his already perfected understanding of the law of light, yet it appeared somewhat narrow in scope, unable to encompass his other potentials. The Wind Shadow Chaos Steel elucidated the true essence of wind and speed, relating closely to his mastery of the law of wind and his agility. But it too lacked comprehensiveness. The Void-Splitting Chaos Steel emphasized spatial division and destruction, resonating partially with the annihilation domain. Yet it barely touched upon aspects of time and light. As he contemplated each steel, weighing their merits, he found himself drawn to an introduction of a steel named Chronolight Chaos Steel. The Chronolight Chaos Steel represented the convergence of time and light, exploring the birth and extinction of light within the cosmic spacetime framework, delving into the mysteries of ultimate speed and the concept of eternal instance. The entry into its teachings was notoriously challenging, requiring exceptional gifts in both time and light. However, once achieved, its power was immense, touching upon speed, penetration, temporal acceleration, deceleration, and the confinement of spacetime, revealing vast potential. As the fusion of time and light, the notion of eternal instance illuminated Li Wei's vision. The description of this chaos steel perfectly aligned with the path he was currently pursuing. His embryonic secret technique, Eternal Instance, aimed to amalgamate the forces of spacetime, light, wind, and annihilation, striving for the pinnacle of offense and control. Undoubtedly, the Chronolight Chaos Steel would provide him with the most orthodox and profound theoretical guidance and direction for advancement. This was it. In an instant, Li Wei made his decision. Although the entry was exceedingly difficult, he possessed ample confidence in his understanding of the laws and the support of his system. As the half-hour selection period came to an end, everyone had made their choices. Luo Feng opted for the 9 Universes Chaos Steel, consistent with the original text, while Rong Jun chose the Giant Axe Chaos Steel. Those selecting the Chronolight Chaos Steel, "Please follow me," a figure in a black robe called out. Only 3 individuals, including Li Wei, stepped forward. In contrast to the dozens, or even hundreds who had chosen the popular Giant Axe and Heartscar Steel, the choice of the Chronolight Chaos Steel was exceedingly rare, underscoring its difficulty. Li Wei paid little mind to this and followed the black-robed figure toward the designated training chamber. At the entrance of the chamber sat an elderly man with a vertical pupil in the center of his forehead, meditating with a distant aura. Lord Kandre. The guiding figure in black robe bowed respectfully. The three-eyed elder, Kandre, not to be confused with the immortal who guides Li Wei, opened his eyes and cast a sweeping glance over Li Wei and his companions, pausing slightly on Li Wei, as if sensing his cosmic aura and certain unique traits. With a slight nod, he urged, "Enter and contemplate for 7 days. Cherish every moment." The heavy bronze door creaked open, unleashing an ancient, profound atmosphere. The chamber was vast, its walls etched with countless intricate and enigmatic patterns. At its center stood a colossal stone tablet, towering 100 meters high and several dozen meters wide. The material of the tablet was akin to jade yet not jade, resembling stone yet not quite stone, adorned with 9 cryptic illustrations. The first illustration was the simplest, depicting what appeared to be trails of light flowing through the fabric of time and space. As one progressed through the images, they grew increasingly complex, gradually intertwining with the flux of time, the emergence and extinction of light, and the distortion of spacetime. By the 9th image, the complexity reached a level beyond verbal description, seemingly portraying the grand spectacle of the universe's birth and demise. Li Wei's gaze was instantly captivated by the first illustration, and his mind became wholly immersed within it. In that fleeting moment, he felt as though his consciousness had transcended into a realm woven from light and time. The confusions and ambiguities he had previously harbored regarding the laws of light and time began to crystallize. The conception of eternal instance in his mind appeared to find its foundation, beginning to unfold and refine itself autonomously. This was the Chaos Tablet, Li Wei thought, utterly astounded. Daring not to let his attention waver for even a moment, as he endeavored to memorize and comprehend the supreme principles encapsulated within the stone. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. When the chamber door swung open once more, Li Wei and his companions emerged reluctantly, their eyes brimming with awe, fulfillment, and an insatiable yearning. The insights gleaned from the Chaos Tablet required considerable time for digestion. Upon your return, integrating these with the principles observed in the rifts of the sky will yield even greater results, Master Kandri advised. Li Wei bowed deeply in gratitude before hastily departing from the Lord's estate, retracing his steps to the cultivation building he had previously selected. He placed his hand upon the pale white door, which transformed into a deep gray after a brief moment. Entering the modestly furnished building, he found it sufficiently tranquil. He ascended directly to the rooftop, sitting cross-legged as he gazed up at the fissures in the sky and the flowing patterns of the principles. After contemplating the cosmic light Chaos Tablet, viewing these principles manifest felt profoundly different. Many previously obscure aspects now seemed to possess a clear trajectory to follow. The 3 treasures of Chaos City. The first treasure, the externalized laws. The second treasure, the Chaos Tablet, I have begun to experience. The third treasure. Li Wei recalled the words of the cloaked messenger, directing his gaze towards the city's outskirts. The chaos beasts and the true spirits of chaos. His lips curled into a slight, anticipatory smile. For one endowed with the damage absorption transformation system, that seemingly perilous hunting ground beyond the city might become an exceptional haven for rapidly enhancing his strength and fortifying his soul. However, the immediate priority was to first digest the insights acquired from the 7-day contemplation of the Chaos Tablet, merging the essential truths of the initial illustrations of the Cosmic Light Chaos Tablet with his own annihilation domain and the secret art of eternal instance. Thus, the 30-year journey of cultivation in Chaos City commenced in earnest. Li Wei's mind had completely immersed itself in the ocean of laws. Chapter 51. The initial hunt of the Chaos Beasts, the true spirit tempering the soul to build the foundation of the path. Chaos City, on the terrace. Li Wei sat cross-legged, his eyes gently closed, yet his spirit was exceedingly vibrant. In his mind, the first and second images of the cosmic light chaos steel incessantly flickered, deconstructing and reassembling, resonating with the clearly flowing cosmic law threads in the sky. Light does not merely propagate in straight lines, under the curvature of space-time. It can also bend. Its speed remains constant, yet its path may vary, illustrating the influence of space-time on light. Time, too, does not elapse uniformly. Under the effects of powerful energy fields or laws, it can be stretched or compressed, rendering the trajectory of light within variable time a profound mystery. My void traversal, in essence, relies on the laws of space for short-distance shuttling. If I could integrate the rapid characteristics of light laws and the subtle adjustments of time laws, could it not render my shuttling smoother and more unpredictable? Perhaps even achieve a form of time displacement attack? The insights gained from 7 days of contemplation surged like a tide within his heart, clashing violently with his pre-existing comprehension of laws, igniting countless sparks of inspiration. He felt that his understanding of light and time was undergoing a qualitative metamorphosis, no longer confined to the application of isolated laws, but beginning to explore the deeper connections between them. This connection is the essence of the cosmic light chaos steel and also the profound realm that his original secret technique, Eternal Moment, seeks to attain, transforming the brilliance of the instant, through the power of space-time, into eternal destruction or confinement. After thoroughly digesting this knowledge for 3 days and nights, Li Wei slowly opened his eyes, a fleeting glimmer dancing within them, and his perception of the surrounding space grew increasingly acute. The guidance of the chaos steel proved extraordinary. In just 7 days, it had illuminated his path. However, solitary contemplation has its limitations. Practical experience is crucial for validation and refinement. He rose, directing his gaze toward the ancient walls of Chaos City and beyond, for it was time to encounter the third treasure. The third treasure of Chaos City lay beyond its walls, embodied in the chaos beasts and the ethereal true spirits that dissipated upon their demise. According to the inscription at the city gate, the chaos beasts are extraordinary life forms birthed in the primordial universe, varying in form, with strengths ranging from cosmic level to realm lord level. They possess no wisdom, only instinct, excelling in attacking practitioners who comprehend the fundamental laws of the universe. Upon slaying a chaos beast, a peculiar energy known as the chaos true spirit will overflow, which practitioners can absorb to directly nourish their souls, enhancing the clarity of their soul's resonance with the fundamental laws of the universe. This is a coveted treasure for any practitioner. More significantly, the attacks of the chaos beasts provide Li Wei with exceptional nourishment. He departed from the small building, making his way toward the city gate. At the gate, a guard from the City Lord's mansion stood watch. Upon sensing Li Wei's cosmic level first stage presence, a squad captain clad in standard battle armor kindly advised, "Young man, the chaos beasts outside the city are perilous. Cosmic level 9 stage beasts are quite common, and there may even be realm lord level ones wandering about. As you are only at the cosmic level first stage, it would be wise to first comprehend the laws within the city and venture out when your strength has increased. Thank you for the warning. I shall exercise caution." Li Wei nodded in acknowledgement, yet his pace remained unbroken. Observing this, the captain of the guard ceased his attempts at persuasion. Within the city of chaos, venturing outside was not forbidden, and one bore the consequences of life and death alone. Upon crossing the city gates, the vista before him starkly contrasted with the interior of the city. An expansive, desolate terrain stretched to the horizon, dotted with grotesque, twisted trees and jagged boulders, while the air was thick with an ancient, chaotic essence. The fissures in the sky and the arcane patterns of law appeared to be more vibrant and tumultuous than those within the city. Li Wei activated his agility, cautiously flying at a low altitude, while simultaneously dispersing his consciousness to remain vigilant of his surroundings. His annihilation domain was poised in a semi-activated state, ready to be unleashed at a moment's notice. After approximately half an hour of flight, a peculiar disturbance rippled at the edge of his awareness. They were coming. With a flicker of thought, Li Wei quietly descended behind a large boulder. In the distance, 3 creatures, resembling lizards yet enveloped in chaotic energy and exceeding 5 meters in length, roamed aimlessly. The energy fluctuations emanating from them were estimated to be around the 5th to 6th tier of cosmic level. 3 mid-tier chaotic beasts of cosmic level. Li Wei's gaze sharpened. They were perfect for testing his skills. He refrained from impulsively charging forth, opting instead to observe meticulously. According to the inscriptions on the stone tablet, the most troublesome aspect of chaotic beasts was their ability to invoke certain primordial cosmic laws for attacks, coupled with their tough hide and tenacious vitality. As one of the chaotic beasts approached within a certain distance, it appeared to sense Li Wei's presence, its murky eyes locking onto the boulder's direction. Emitting a deep growl, with a powerful push of its limbs, it transformed into a streak of chaotic light charging forward. The other 2 were also stirred into action, flanking from the sides. Their speed was impressive. In an instant, Li Wei darted from behind the boulder, and with a thought, his annihilation domain expanded abruptly within a radius of 150 meters. The grayish power of the domain enveloped the 3 chaotic beasts like an invisible quagmire. Roar! The leading chaotic beast's speed plummeted as the chaotic energy surrounding it violently interacted with the annihilation force, producing a hissing sound. Instinctively, it swung its claws, the gust of its strike slicing through the air and inadvertently invoking a faint force of the earth law, manifesting several solid yellow blades aimed at Li Wei. The other 2 chaotic beasts unleashed energy spheres infused with the explosive essence of fire law and razor-sharp wind blades laden with metallic energy. Faced with these simultaneous assaults of law, Li Wei stood resolute, a glimmer of anticipation flashing in his eyes. Come forth. Boom, boom, hiss. The yellow blades, crimson energy spheres, and azure wind blade struck Li Wei almost simultaneously. However, the anticipated scene of flesh and blood being torn apart did not materialize. All attacks vanished without a trace upon contact with his body, akin to a cow sinking into the sea. Not even his garments bore a single tear. Damage absorption conversion system activated. Physical strikes, energy impacts, and accompanying law damage. Every form of attack energy was flawlessly absorbed by the system. Ding. Absorbed cosmic level 5th tier chaotic beast, earth attribute, law attack, converting to boundary value 85. Ding. Absorbing the cosmic grade 6th order chaotic beasts, fire attribute, law attack. The conversion realm value reached 102. Ding. Absorbing the cosmic grade 5th order chaotic beasts, metal attribute, law attack. The conversion realm value reached 79. A series of system prompts flashed through Li Wei's consciousness. Simultaneously, he felt a surge of pure energy merging into his limbs and bones. Although this was relatively minor compared to the colossal realm value required for his current breakthrough to cosmic grade, the cumulative effect was remarkable. Indeed, it was possible. Furthermore, he could absorb and convert the damage that accompanied the law attacks. Li Wei's heart soared with joy. This implied that within the chaotic city, he could virtually disregard the attacks of the chaotic beasts, boldly hunting with confidence. The 3 chaotic beasts could not comprehend the scene before them. Their simple minds struggled to process the information that their attacks were futile. After a moment of bewilderment, they lashed out even more frantically. It was time to conclude this. Li Wei ceased his experimentation. With a swift motion, he melded seamlessly into the surrounding light, a manifestation of his mastery over the laws of light and wind. Under the suppression of the annihilation field, his speed was astonishing. Whoosh! A beam of light, refined to perfection, infused with a hint of his nascent understanding of the cosmic light chaos steel, seemed to transcend the subtle barriers of time, slicing through the skull of the first chaotic beast in an instant. Its roar abruptly ceased, a charred hole appearing on its head as its gaze rapidly dimmed. Following closely, a second and third beam of light flashed, and the other 2 chaotic beasts collapsed in a deafening crash. The 3 chaotic beasts' corpses began to dissolve slowly, transforming into pure chaotic energy that returned to the heavens and earth. Simultaneously, 3 ethereal, shimmering points of light emerged from the corpses, exuding a soul-soothing aura. The chaotic true spirits. Li Wei immediately moved closer, channeling his soul power. The 3 points of chaotic true spirit seemed to be drawn toward him, gradually merging into his forehead. A unique sensation of coolness and warmth surged through the depths of his soul. It was as if parched land was nourished by gentle rain. And his soul's essence rejoiced, sharpening his perceptive abilities to unprecedented clarity and acuity. Previously vague insights from his contemplation of the cosmic light chaos steel and observation of the sky laws now became vividly clear. What a marvelous sensation. It felt as if his soul had been thoroughly cleansed, enhancing the clarity of his comprehension of the laws by at least 10%. Li Wei was elated. Although this enhancement was gradual and would diminish as the absorption of true spirits increased, the initial effects were strikingly significant. He assessed the system's reservoir of realm value while savoring the augmentation of his soul, a satisfied smile gracing his face. Here was truly my perfect training ground. Not only could he hunt chaotic beasts to absorb law conversion realm values and accelerate energy accumulation, but he could also gain chaotic true spirit nourishment for his soul, enhancing his understanding. Coupled with the inherent laws manifested within the chaotic city and the guidance of the chaos steel, Li Wei felt as if he could see a broad avenue leading to strength unfolding rapidly beneath his feet. He gathered his thoughts and directed his gaze deeper into the vast expanse of the earth. In that realm, the presence of more formidable chaotic beasts signifies an increase in boundary values and a superior quality of chaotic true spirits. After 30 years of cultivation in the chaotic city, he was destined for an extraordinary path. With a flicker of his figure, Li Wei once again melded into this ancient and perilous land. Embarking on his journey of hunting and cultivation, the true challenges and opportunities had only just begun. Chapter 52. Initial attempts at law integration. The radiance of time and space reveals its power. Upon the vast expanse beyond the chaotic city, Li Wei's silhouette flitted like a specter, weaving between jagged rocks and gnarled ancient trees. His hunting endeavors grew increasingly adept, with the annihilation domain resembling an invisible death trap. Any cosmic-level chaotic beast ensnared within its grasp found its speed drastically diminished, its attacks effortlessly absorbed, ultimately succumbing to a swift and precise beam of light piercing its vital points. Beep. Absorbed an attack from a cosmic-level Tier 7 chaotic beast, converting to a boundary value of 120. Beep. Absorbed an attack from a cosmic-level Tier 8 chaotic beast, group attack, with fusion law impact, converting to a boundary value of 355. The system's notifications rang out intermittently, and his boundary values steadily increased. What brought even greater delight to Li Wei was that each time he absorbed a chaotic true spirit, it felt as though his soul underwent a cleansing process, granting him an ever-clearer perception of the cosmic laws surrounding him. Particularly, his understanding of the time and space light chaos tablet flourished, as the nourishment from the chaotic true spirits illuminated many obscure concepts. At this moment, he floated in midair, eyes closed, absorbing the transformation following the assimilation of a cosmic-level Tier 9 chaotic beast's true spirit. His soul resembled a polished mirror, reflecting the strands of law weaving through the fissures in the sky. He had long mastered the intricacies of the light law. Now, he focused intently on capturing the subtle fluctuations representing temporal changes, as well as the wrinkles and expansions of space. The second illustration of the time and space light chaos tablet depicted the trajectory of light within the warped fabric of time and space, though the speed of light remained constant. The very nature of time and space could bend. Thus, could one derive an advantage in attacks from this principle? A spark of inspiration ignited within Li Wei's mind. His light attacks had always pursued ultimate speed and penetration, but what if the trajectory of the attack could become unpredictable? Or if one could utilize the curvature of space-time for refraction or acceleration? He opened his eyes, fixing his gaze on a massive, dark brown boulder a kilometer away, resonating with a faint metallic energy. With a mere thought, a highly concentrated beam of white light erupted from his fingertips, racing toward the boulder with near-instantaneous speed. Thud! The boulder was effortlessly pierced, leaving behind a smooth aperture. This was a pure light law attack, swift, precise, and lethal. Now, he sought to incorporate spatial distortion. Li Wei raised his hand once more. This time, as the light shot forth, it did not travel in a straight line. Instead, the space surrounding the beam exhibited subtle ripples of distortion. This rendered the light's path somewhat erratic, although the general direction remained unchanged, resulting in a slight deviation that struck the opposite side of the boulder, yielding a similar effect. The alteration of the trajectory introduced an element of unpredictability, yet the power remained unchanged. Furthermore, the mental strain increased significantly. Li Wei furrowed his brow. It appeared that mere spatial distortion lacked substantial significance. The essence of the time and space light chaos tablet lay in integration rather than mere superposition. He paused in contemplation, recalling the intricate patterns on the chaos steel, where light and the fabric of space-time intertwine. Perhaps, one should not perceive the distortion of space as an external aid but rather allow it to become an inherent characteristic of light itself? Or, One might consider enabling light to possess spatial attributes from the very moment it is emitted. This notion invigorated his spirit. He endeavored to condense the light while simultaneously awakening his understanding of the laws of space, not to warp the spatial pathways of light, but to integrate the principles of spatial traversal inherent in the void into the very essence of light itself. This endeavor proved exceedingly arduous, demanding an extraordinary mastery of the underlying laws. Time and again, his attempts resulted in light collapsing or deviating, occasionally even triggering localized spatial disturbances that nearly jeopardized his safety. Had it not been for the protective system surrounding him, he might have succumbed to the repercussions of his experimental miscalculations long ago. After failing dozens of times, Li Wei remained undeterred, growing increasingly focused. His heightened sensitivity, nurtured by the essence of chaos, allowed him to discern the subtle points of conflict in each failure. Light, in its pursuit of ultimate order and constancy, contrasted sharply with space, which embodies folding and leaping. A forced fusion would only lead to conflict. A point of harmony was essential: time. Indeed, time is the catalyst. By employing the delicate adjustments of temporal laws, he sought to achieve a momentary equilibrium between light and space. Suddenly inspired, he made another attempt. This time, while condensing the light, he not only infused the notion of spatial folding, but also harnessed the nascent power of temporal laws, not to accelerate or decelerate, but to create a fleeting window of fusion within the briefest span of light's manifestation. The brilliance at his fingertips reemerged, this time revealing an unusual semi-transparent quality, as the surrounding space gently collapsed inward, as if the light itself were a miniature spatial singularity. Go! Whoosh! The light shot forth, appearing to move slightly slower than before, yet evoking an illusion that transcended the very concept of speed. It did not travel in a straight line, but left behind a disjointed, pale silver trace, reminiscent of space being momentarily torn asunder. Boom! The light struck the third experimental boulder. It did not penetrate. Rather, the boulder seemed to be crushed from within by an invisible spatial force, instantly reducing it to dust, which was then largely obliterated by the residual spatial fluctuations. Raising barely a whisper of dust, Li Wei beheld this spectacle, his eyes igniting with radiant brilliance. He had succeeded. Although this strike consumed nearly 30% of his mental energy, far exceeding that of a typical light attack, the potency was vastly superior, imbued with the property of spatial annihilation. This was no longer a mere light assault. It was a manifestation of time-space energy, a light of temporal and spatial essence. Li Wei named it, his heart brimming with joy. This was merely a preliminary fusion. Its power had yet to reach an ideal state, and the consumption was excessive. But it undeniably validated that his direction was correct. The path of the chaos light steel resonated profoundly with him. As he reveled in the joy of devising new offensive techniques, a formidable aura suddenly wafted from the distance, imbued with a will of brutality and chaos. Instantly locking onto him, a domain lord-level chaotic beast. Li Wei's expression turned grave, and he immediately focused his mind, preparing for battle. In the far horizon, a colossal creature, resembling a rhinoceros yet adorned with three twisted, spiral horns atop its head, advanced with the earth-shaking gait of a mountain. It was enveloped in chaotic energy flows that resembled a tangible armor, charging towards him with a force that sent tremors through the ground. The overwhelming energy fluctuations unmistakably reached the third tier of the domain lord level. The domain lord level signified a leap in the hierarchy of life, with a manipulation of the fundamental laws of the universe that far surpassed that of a cosmic-level chaotic beast. This indeed presented a monumental challenge. Yet, within Li Wei's eyes, there was no trace of fear. Rather, a fierce battle spirit ignited within him. Perfect. I shall utilize you to test my light of time and space, as well as the limits of my system against domain lord-level assaults. He inhaled deeply, the primal force and mental energy surging around him, as he fully unleashed the annihilation domain within a radius of 150 meters, enveloping himself in a grayish luminescence. Simultaneously, he gathered a peculiar beam of light, infused with subtle temporal fluctuations, at his fingertips. The charge of the domain lord-level chaotic beast was imminent. An extraordinary battle across tiers was about to erupt. This was not merely a peril, it was also an exceptional opportunity to test the fruits of his early cultivation in the chaotic city. Chapter 53. Understanding the essence of domain lord level. Inheriting from the 9-universe tower, the domain lord level third-tier chaotic rhinoceros bore down upon him like a torrenting mountain, exuding an oppressive might that rendered the air stifling. The 3 spiral horns of the beast radiated intense hues of earthy yellow and dark crimson, invoking the gravitas of the Earth's laws and the explosive nature of fire's laws, causing the surrounding space to warp slightly. Clearly, the power behind this strike far exceeded that of the cosmic level. Li Wei's pupils constricted, and he dared not exhibit even a hint of carelessness. He propelled the annihilation domain to its utmost limits, the grayish power of the domain coalescing like the thickest of quagmires, endeavoring to decelerate the beast's advance. Simultaneously, the beam of light merging with the power of time and space was poised for release. Roar! The chaotic rhinoceros bellowed, unleashing 3 colossal energy beams intertwined with the laws of earth and fire. They erupted from its horns like a volcanic explosion, instantly tearing through the air and hurtling towards Li Wei. Where the beams passed, the ground was carved into deep ravines, their might terrifying. Faced with an attack capable of easily maiming or even slaying an ordinary cosmic-level 9th-tier being, Li Wei did not flinch or evade, his gaze exceptionally calm. Boom. The 3 energy beams struck Li Wei with tremendous force. A horrific explosion of energy erupted, forming a vast, reddish-brown energy sphere that entirely engulfed his figure, sending powerful shockwaves radiating outward and stirring up a tempest of dust. However, as the brilliance of the energy dissipated, Li Wei remained suspended in place, his garments untouched. Only a thin, imperceptible membrane seemed to ripple upon his surface, absorbing all the impact, explosive force, and even the accompanying damage from the loss. Ding. Absorbed the mixed law attack from the domain Lord level 3rd tier chaotic beast, Earth, fire attributes, converting to realm value 5,820. As the system notification echoed, an overwhelming surge of pure energy, far greater than that encountered in slaying the cosmic level chaotic beasts, flooded into Li Wei's being, converting into stored realm value. He felt a sense of certainty. Indeed, the system's absolute defense had not disappointed him, as it effortlessly absorbed even the domain Lord level law attacks. The chaotic rhinoceros, clearly taken aback by the ineffectiveness of its full force strike, found its rudimentary thoughts descending further into disarray and fury. With its massive form, it lowered its head and charged at Li Wei, using its sharp horn as a spearhead. A physical collision. The force was equally domain Lord level. How fortuitous. This time, Li Wei refrained from bracing against the impact. The sheer momentum was colossal, and even if the damage was absorbed, he could still be flung away. With a ghostly grace, he combined the principles of light and his newfound understanding of spatial distortion to narrowly evade the lethal point. Simultaneously, his poised right index finger aimed at the relatively vulnerable neck of the chaotic rhinoceros. Light of time and space go. In a swift motion, a semi-transparent ray, causing a slight collapse in the surrounding space, shot forth silently. Its speed appeared unremarkable, yet it imparted an illusion of transcending conventional velocity. As if bypassing the intervening distances entirely, the chaotic rhinoceros instinctively sensed a mortal threat and attempted to evade. But its massive body moved sluggishly under the suppression of the annihilation domain. With a soft thud, the light of time and space struck true. There was no cataclysmic explosion. Rather, the affected area, the scales, muscle, and bone, seemed to disintegrate at a molecular level under an invisible spatial force, creating a gaping cavity the size of a basin. Its edges smooth as glass, exhibiting bizarre spatial distortions. No blood flowed from the wound, for much of the matter and energy in that region had been largely annihilated by the nascent fusion of temporal and spatial power. A piercing scream erupted from the chaotic rhinoceros as its colossal form collapsed, twitching violently. Though this strike did not deliver a fatal blow, it evidently inflicted severe damage, compromising its vital core structure. Li Wei took a deep breath. The use of the light of time and space had been immensely taxing, yet its effect filled him with satisfaction. He did not dare to linger, seizing the moment to unleash a series of ordinary, yet concentrated light attacks that accurately penetrated the depths of the wound. Moments later, the domain Lord-level chaotic beast finally ceased its struggles, its vast body beginning to dissipate into chaotic currents. A chaotic true spirit, more condensed and radiant than that of a cosmic-level chaotic beast, floated forth, emanating an alluring wave of spiritual resonance. Li Wei immediately approached to absorb it. This domain Lord-level chaotic true spirit fused with his soul, yielding effects far surpassing previous experiences, akin to a refreshing spring nourishing parched spiritual land, enhancing his sensitivity to cosmic laws by nearly 30% in an instant. The previously cumbersome aspects of cultivating the light of time and space became significantly more fluid. Indeed, the effects of the domain Lord-level chaotic true spirit were astonishing. Li Wei was elated. Yet, he was also aware that such enhancement would diminish with the absorption of true spirits of the same level. Through this battle, Li Wei gained a clearer understanding of his own power. With the aid of the system, he remains invulnerable in defense. Provided he is not instantly annihilated, the system theoretically possesses no upper limit, but its limits must be confirmed or subjected to irresistible soul control, sealing, and other such means. He can disregard the majority of attacks. In terms of offense, his newly created time-space light possesses considerable power, sufficient to pose a threat to lower-tier domain masters. Though it consumes vast amounts of energy and cannot be employed as a conventional method, his typical combat prowess is nearly unmatched among cosmic-level beings, capable of contending with weaker first-tier domain masters. Nevertheless, his realm remains too low. Li Wei perceives that his cosmic-level first-tier original energy and mental force becomes somewhat strained during high-intensity combat. He must swiftly advance to the 9th tier of the cosmic level. Only then can his sustained combat capability and the frequency of employing time-space light be significantly enhanced. According to the regulations of the Virtual Universe Company, qualitative breakthroughs, such as from cosmic-level first tier to second tier, must be achieved independently. Yet quantitative accumulation, from first tier to 9th tier, can be rapidly completed with resources provided freely by the company. He has already accomplished a qualitative breakthrough from stellar level to cosmic level, and upon returning to the company headquarters, he can apply for resources to swiftly elevate his strength to the pinnacle of cosmic level 9th tier. However, during his 30 years in Chaos City, the focus has remained on comprehending the laws. Elevating his realm can wait. Li Wei suppresses the immediate urge to return and enhance his realm. The opportunities within Chaos City are far too precious to squander even a moment. He continues to hunt chaos beasts in the outskirts, primarily targeting cosmic-level creatures, while cautiously challenging solitary lower-tier Domain Master chaos beasts to accumulate realm value and chaos true spirits. As time flows on, a year has swiftly passed since Li Wei entered Chaos City. During this year, he has absorbed a vast amount of chaos true spirits, achieving an astonishing clarity in the laws of soul perception. His understanding of the time-space light has deepened, becoming increasingly refined, with reduced consumption and steadily increasing power. His Annihilation Domain has also expanded its range to 200 meters under the enhancement of law comprehension with a more potent annihilation effect. One day, while observing the delicate strands of time laws within the rifts of the sky from the rooftop, he suddenly felt a stir within his heart. Receiving an email from the Virtual Universe Company. Li Wei, in recognition of your year-long tenure in Chaos City and your selection of the time-space light Chaos Steel as your primary focus, according to company regulations, core members are entitled to select and purchase secret techniques from the treasury that align with their cultivation path to assist in comprehending the Chaos Steel. It is recommended that you visit the 9 Universe Tower within the primitive area of Rainy Mountain in the virtual universe to consult relevant secret techniques. Your points, 100. 010, initial 100, 000 points, with an annual talent battle score of 10 points. The mention of 9 Universe Tower brightens Li Wei's eyes. He has been feeling that his solitary exploration of time-space light is progressing slowly. Should he have mature secret techniques created by formidable predecessors as reference, it would undoubtedly yield twice the result with half the effort. His consciousness immediately connects to the virtual universe, manifesting in the 114th manor of the primitive area of Rainy Mountain. He directly teleports to the front of a magnificent 9-story tower in the center of the primitive area. The plaque of the tower bears 3 characters imbued with the essence of infinite time and space. 9 Universe Tower. Upon entering the building, it felt akin to stepping into an expansive celestial realm. Countless luminous specks floated in the air, each representing a secret technique. The points on the left predominantly shimmered in silver, symbolizing techniques related to the laws of light, while those on the right appeared ethereal and transparent, representing techniques tied to the laws of space and time. In the center, a sparse scattering of interwoven golden and silver lights signified the rare and precious fusion of light and time-space techniques. Li Wei strode directly towards the central area, his gaze sweeping across the descriptions of these fusion techniques. The flowing starfall technique emphasized the combination of rapid light and accelerated time, striving for instantaneous eruption. The Void Shadow Escape specialized in spatial concealment and light refraction, representing the pinnacle of assassination techniques. The momentary radiance delved into the profound mysteries of time stasis and the eternal instant of light, a formidable challenge to master. As he surveyed these techniques, each possessed its unique merits, yet none seemed to align with his pursuit of time-space annihilation and the eternal moment. Furthermore, their exorbitant prices, often amounting to tens of thousands of points, and the most expensive offerings in the central area reaching into the hundreds of thousands, made them even less appealing. While he meticulously sifted through the options, a seemingly unremarkable technique tucked in the corner, titled Essence of Cosmic Extremes, caught his attention. This technique was not a traditional attack or movement art. It was the insights and structural analysis of the first 6 illustrations of the Cosmic Light Chaos Monument by an immortal powerhouse known as the Cosmic Light King. It emphasized interpreting the essential connections between light and time-space, aiming to solidify the foundation and comprehend the essence of law fusion. The exchange required 80,000 points. Law interpretation? Insights. Li Wei felt a stirring within. What he lacked was not a formidable offensive technique, but a deeper understanding of the essence of laws, along with theoretical guidance on how to perfectly integrate light, time-space, and other forces such as annihilation. Although Essence of Cosmic Extremes did not directly enhance combat power, it precisely addressed his most pressing need, the profound mysteries of the Cosmic Light Chaos Monument. Without hesitation, Li Wei made his decision. Points were meant to elevate one's strength, and this technique was perfectly suited for his current stage. After paying the 80,000 points, the transaction was a success. A golden light merged with his identity token, and a wealth of information regarding Essence of Cosmic Extremes surged into his mind. This vast influx of information contained the Cosmic Light King's detailed interpretations of the first 6 illustrations of the Cosmic Light Chaos Monument. Countless models depicting the variations of light under different time-space conditions, and invaluable experiences on how to progressively fuse the laws of time-space and light. Li Wei eagerly absorbed this knowledge, and many confusions and detours he had encountered during his solitary explorations were now illuminated, bringing clarity to his understanding. Oh, so that is how it is. The traversal of light through regions with differing temporal flows produces such wondrous phase shifts. Spatial folds can not only be used for defense, but can also guide light, achieving acceleration akin to curvature navigation in attacks. The essence of annihilation may be understood as the return of material energy to a singular state of time-space. Immersed in the profound intricacies of essence of cosmic extremes, Li Wei's path forward became ever clearer. He departed from the GU building, his consciousness returning to the essence of Chaos City. As he gazed at the sky once more, he sensed a profound transformation. The next step was to put theory into practice, further refining the light of time and space, and ultimately, to create more powerful secret arts. After 30 years of cultivation, Li Wei's journey was just beginning, yet his progress, owing to the existence of the system and his judicious choices, far surpassed ordinary expectations. In Chaos City, a new star was steadily rising. Chapter 54. 10 years of silent cultivation, the bridge to the heavens begins to reveal its glory. The days in Chaos City passed quietly, marked by daily observations of the heavens, deciphering inscriptions, hunting beasts, and refining techniques. In the blink of an eye, a decade had elapsed since Li Wei entered this sacred realm of the primordial universe. For cultivators blessed with long lifespans, 10 years might merely be a fleeting moment. However, for a prodigy ardently honing their skills in a place as fortuitous as Chaos City, it was ample time for a profound metamorphosis. On the celestial platform, Li Wei sat in serene meditation. Compared to a decade ago, his aura was now far more profound and restrained. A faint glow enveloped him, a manifestation of the near perfection of the laws of light, seamlessly integrated into his instincts. The space surrounding his seated form exhibited an imperceptible distortion, as if he did not fully exist within the current coordinates of time and space, a sign of his deep understanding of spatial laws. 10 years of arduous cultivation had yielded rewards far beyond what the outside world could achieve in a century or even a millennium. First and foremost was the transformation of his soul. Through the relentless pursuit of hunting chaos beasts, by the later stages, he could effortlessly hunt domain master-level beasts of the 5th rank and below. He absorbed a vast amount of true chaos essence. His soul's foundation had expanded several-fold, and his clarity in perceiving the laws of the universe had reached an extraordinary level, one that his peers could scarcely fathom. If his initial experiences in Chaos City were akin to viewing the laws through frosted glass, now it was as though he had polished a high-definition lens. With the intricate veins of the laws laid bare before him, this elevation at the soul level formed the basis of his comprehension, dramatically enhancing his efficiency in deciphering the Chaos Tablet and developing his own secret arts. Secondly, there was his understanding of the Chaos Tablet of temporal light. Nourished by the true essence of chaos and guided by the interpretation of the cosmic extreme, his comprehension of the first 3 images had achieved remarkable completeness. And he had even begun to touch the fringes of the 4th image. His understanding of the fusion of light with time and space had evolved from initial experimentation to a systematic grasp with a solid foundation. His most significant achievement manifested in the secret art he created himself. The light of time and space had been perfected, with reduced consumption and enhanced potency, allowing him to wield it with effortless precision. Yet, this was merely the beginning. After deeply comprehending the principles of spatial curvature guidance and light phase changes outlined in the interpretation of the cosmic extreme, he successfully crafted a second integrated secret art, the curved path leap. This technique was not solely an offensive art, but rather a skill that combined evasion, agility, and surprise. When executed, he could utilize subtle control over spatial folds and the flow of time to create effects akin to visual displacement and path refraction over short distances. What appeared to be a movement to the left could very well result in his figure emerging from the right, with attack trajectories that were deviously unpredictable, making it exceedingly difficult to defend against. This greatly compensated for his previous speed, which, while rapid, leaned towards linearity and lacked variability. The prototype of the ultimate secret technique, Eternal Moment, has made substantial progress. He no longer seeks to merge all powers from the outset, but instead begins with the exquisite fusion of light and time. He has created a semi-finished technique, Arrow of Time. This technique combines the swift penetration of the laws of light with the acceleration and stasis inherent in the laws of time. When the arrow is released, it embodies the force of accelerated time, propelling it to an astonishing velocity that nearly transcends the limits of conventional reactions. Upon striking its target, it invokes a fleeting effect of time stasis, albeit momentarily, enough to induce a brief delay in the opponent's defenses, resulting in devastating penetrating damage. While this move possesses tremendous power, it also demands a terrifying amount of energy and requires precise timing. It remains his trump card. The scope of the annihilation domain has expanded to 300 meters, with intensified suppression and annihilation effects, merging his insights into spacetime and light. The domain appears to form a twisted realm of spacetime that weakens enemies and amplifies his own strength. One day, Li Wei returned from hunting outside the city, having absorbed the true essence of a domain lord-level chaotic beast. As he sat in meditation to digest and comprehend this experience, he suddenly received an email from the Virtual Universe Company. Dear Li Wei, in recognition of your 10 years of cultivation in Chaos City, the Virtual Universe Company, as per tradition, will offer all practitioners an opportunity to test their cultivation achievements by challenging the Sky Bridge. The Sky Bridge is the optimal method for assessing one's comprehension of the Chaos Steel. The deeper your understanding, the more levels you can surpass. The achievement of crossing the Sky Bridge is not only related to rankings and honors, but also directly tied to the number of future opportunities to gain insights from the Chaos Steel and the difficulty of acquiring points. The Chaos Steel you have chosen, Cosmic Light Chaos Steel, corresponds to the Sky Bridge named Cosmic Light Sky Bridge, which consists of 27 levels. This opportunity to challenge the Sky Bridge is rare, please cherish it. You may access the Sky Bridge dimension at any time through the Virtual Universe Network. The Sky Bridge? Li Wei opened his eyes, a glimmer of brilliance flashing within. He had long heard of this. It is one of the most significant tests for practitioners in Chaos City. The number of levels he surpasses will provide a direct measure of his comprehension of the Chaos Steel. It is an opportune moment to assess the fruits of his decade of effort. Consciously connecting to the virtual universe, he was directly transported to a special dimension. Before him lay a vast ocean, tumultuous and boundless. At the center of the ocean stood a beautiful island, its edges adorned with 52 ports, each extending an endless long bridge into the heavens, seemingly connecting to the cosmic starry sky. These 52 long bridges corresponded to 52 Chaos Steel. Following the guidance, Li Wei flew toward the port marked with the words Cosmic Light. At the port stood a man in a black starry robe, possessing 4 ears and lacking a nose, yet wearing a smile. "Greetings, Prince Li Wei," the man in black said with a smile. "I am Baffin, the guardian of the Sky Bridge dimension. You are the third individual in the past decade to challenge the Cosmic Light Sky Bridge. The Cosmic Light Sky Bridge consists of 27 levels. As a cosmic level practitioner, surpassing the 4th level will be considered exceptionally remarkable. The further one ventures, the greater the rewards to be reaped. Thus, strive diligently." Li Wei nodded in acknowledgement. His gaze directed towards a peculiar, elongated bridge that vanished into the depths of the mist, seemingly woven from shards of light and fragments of time. Let the journey commence. With a determined step, he set foot upon the first layer of the celestial light bridge. In an instant, the surrounding environment transformed, enveloping him in a tunnel resplendent with flowing lights, as a chilling voice echoed forth. "Choose your opponent. Warrior, mentalist controller, or illusionist. Defeat them to pass the first layer." "A warrior," Li Wei replied with calm resolve. His abilities were well-rounded, yet he relished the exhilaration of close combat. The air before him coalesced, manifesting as a masked figure clad in silver armor, wielding a lightsaber, radiating energy waves of cosmic level 9, imbued with a formidable essence of light. "Kill," the masked figure commanded, dashing forth like a streak of light, his swordsmanship sharp and swift as lightning. However, to Li Wei, this attack appeared naively slow. He refrained from employing the annihilation domain, merely shifting his stance slightly to execute the curved path leap, leaving behind a faint afterimage while his true self materialized ghost-like beside the masked figure. With a swift motion, he unleashed a condensed beam of light, imbued with a hint of spatial rending, which instantaneously pierced through the masked figure's head, causing the opponent's form to dissipate. First layer, cleared. Li Wei pressed on, advancing to the second, then the third layer, where the strength of his opponents escalated incrementally, their mastery of the light principle growing more intricate, even beginning to hint at the nascent forms of spatial loss. Yet, Li Wei's comprehension far surpassed that of his peers. His curved path leap was unpredictable, and the radiance of time and space was unparalleled in its ferocity, allowing him to forge ahead with ease. Until the 4th layer. The Guardian here was also a cosmic level 9 warrior, but he exuded an aura that harmonized the swiftness of light with the profound intricacies of spatial law. Brandishing a transparent combat knife, the blade's gleam not only possessed speed, but also the sharpness to cut through space itself. Interesting indeed. Li Wei finally unleashed the annihilation domain. A 300-meter gray expanse descended, drastically reducing the Guardian's speed and significantly diminishing the spatial cutting force of his blade. Light of time and space. Li Wei's fingertips sparkled with brilliance, and the semi-transparent, enigmatic beam of light re-emerged, shooting forth at a velocity that surpassed the Guardian's reflexes. The Guardian attempted to block, but upon contact, the blade was eroded by the annihilation force contained within the light, creating a breach, allowing the beam to pierce through his defenses unimpeded. 4th layer, cleared. The observer, Barfin, gazed with keen interest, a cosmic-level warrior, effortlessly conquering the 4th layer within 10 years. This Li Wei's understanding of the Celestial Light Chaos Monument was indeed profound, especially in his application of the merging principles, which had evidently reached an initial mastery. Li Wei did not pause, stepping onto the 5th layer. The guardian of this layer was nearing the threshold of domain master level, exhibiting an even more refined command over light and space. A fierce battle erupted, and Li Wei unleashed all his skills. With the combination of Twisted Path and Light of Time and Space, he narrowly emerged victorious. On the 6th level, the strength of the Guardian had firmly reached the first tier of Domain Lord level, with a deeper comprehension of the laws. This time, Li Wei felt a palpable pressure. The Guardian's attacks, imbued with the mysteries of time and space, made it quite challenging for him to respond. After 100 intense exchanges, he seized upon a flaw in his opponent's defense, sacrificing the absorption of damage by the system to execute an incomplete form of Arrow of Time. A luminous arrow, seemingly transcending the perception of time, shot forth and pierced the Guardian's chest amidst its astonished gaze. The time-stopping effect contained within the arrow caused a momentary and fatal stagnation in its defenses. He had successfully passed the 6th level. As Li Wei ascended to the 7th level, he faced a Guardian whose strength had escalated to the 3rd tier of Domain Lord level. With an almost perfect understanding of the first 4 images of the Cosmic Light Chaos Steel, Li Wei exerted all his effort. However, Annihilation Domain was suppressed, and Light of Time and Space struggled to breach the defenses. Ultimately, he succumbed to the overwhelming offensive of his opponent and was expelled from the Celestial Bridge. Returning to the harbor, regrettably, he had only reached the 6th level. Breathing heavily, Li Wei's eyes were devoid of any discouragement. Rather, they sparkled with excitement. He sensed that he was not far from conquering the 7th level. The Guardian, Barfin, approached with a smile. Your Highness Li Wei, congratulations. Achieving passage through the 6th level of the Celestial Bridge at the cosmic level places you among the elite of past geniuses. Your performance will certainly attract the attention of the higher-ups at the Virtual Universe Company. Here is your reward information. Li Wei received an email detailing that having passed the first 6 levels, he had earned 6 opportunities to comprehend the Cosmic Light Chaos Steel, each lasting 7 days, along with corresponding point rewards. Clenching his fists at the prospect of these 6 opportunities for comprehension, Li Wei felt a surge of confidence. With these opportunities, combined with the experiences gained from the battles on the Celestial Bridge, he was assured that he could break through once again in the near future. The battle on the Celestial Bridge began to circulate Li Wei's name among the higher-ups of the Virtual Universe Company and among contemporaneous geniuses. Surpassing the 6th level at the cosmic level indicated that he had already surpassed the majority of Domain Lord-level talents in his understanding of the laws. After a decade of accumulation, his brilliance began to emerge at this moment. Li Wei's training in Chaos City had entered a new phase of rapid development. His aspirations were set on even higher levels and the astonishing heights he could achieve upon the culmination of his 30-year training period. Chapter 55, 7 Days of Comprehension Before the Steel, the true essence of time and space unveiled. The achievement on the 6th level of the Celestial Bridge was akin to a stone cast upon a tranquil lake, creating ripples within the coarse circles of the Virtual Universe Company. Surpassing the 6th level at the cosmic level signified that Li Wei's insights into the Cosmic Light Chaos Steel had already surpassed the vast majority of Domain Lord-level core members, directly affirming his talent and potential. Barfin's report would inevitably attract the attention of some powerful higher-ups. However, Li Wei remained largely unfazed by this. Empty fame bore no value. True strength was the essence. He was far more concerned with the tangible benefits of his trials. 6 precious opportunities to comprehend the Chaos Steel, without a moment's respite. Following the conclusion of the Tongtian Bridge Challenge, Li Wei promptly submitted an application to the City Lord's residence to utilize a single opportunity for enlightenment. Soon, the application was approved. Stepping once more into the grand and ancient secret chamber, standing before the towering 100-meter-high Chaos Monument, Li Wei's state of mind was markedly transformed from the first time he entered a decade ago. Gone was the initial shock and bewilderment. Instead, a profound desire for exploration and newfound confidence took their place. He bypassed the 3 images he had already comprehended and immersed himself entirely in the 4th image, which depicted the intricate interplay of light across complex dimensions of time and space, suggesting the possibility of manipulating the flow of time itself. This time, armed with the pressure and insights gained from the 6th level Guardian of the Tongtian Bridge, a solid foundation built over 10 years of diligent cultivation, and the theoretical guidance of the interpretation of chaos, coupled with a heightened understanding from numerous chaotic true spirits, Li Wei's perception of the 4th image was profoundly different. The lines and patterns, which had previously seemed opaque and inscrutable, now appeared to come alive. No longer a static image. It unfolded as a series of dynamic principles. How a beam of light navigates through the folds of space with the agility of a fish, its trajectory unpredictable. How radiance generates peculiar stratifications and lagging effects within regions of uneven temporal flow. How a burst of speed utilizes the curvature of spacetime to achieve near-leaping advancements. And even how to momentarily detach the existence of light from its spatial coordinates to create attacks or defenses that transcend conventional perception. Li Wei realized that the 4th image emphasized interaction and application. He was no longer merely grasping the commonalities of light and spacetime, but began to explore how to actively harness the properties of spacetime to amplify, distort, and even redefine the existence and behavior of light. His consciousness became fully absorbed, eagerly absorbing the supreme mysteries conveyed by the Chaos Monument. In his mind, the self-created models of light of spacetime, curved path leap, and even arrow of time began to spontaneously deduce, optimize, and reconstruct. The light of spacetime evolved beyond merely adhering to the destructive force of space. It began to experiment with the spatial folding projection techniques depicted in the 4th image, allowing light to execute minute spatial jumps before being projected, rendering the point of attack more elusive and difficult to defend against. The movements of curved path leap integrated a deeper understanding of temporal dislocation. As his figure flickered, not only did his spatial position shift, but subtle temporal afterimages trailed behind, significantly enhancing its deceptive nature. As for the arrow of time, The fusion of temporal acceleration and stasis became more fluid and natural, with a deeper theoretical basis for timing, thereby elevating both its power and controllability. He even began to touch upon a deeper mystery regarding how to merge his comprehension of annihilation with space-time and light at a preliminary, yet higher level. Annihilation might be perceived as the process of returning material energy to the origin of space-time, which shares a subtle connection with the concept of singularity in the laws of space-time, as well as the state of light when it extinguishes. 7 days slipped away in the midst of his profound insights, as the bronze door of the secret chamber slowly creaked open once more. Li Wei's eyes sparkled with countless tiny luminous points and swirling vortices of time and space, fluctuating unpredictably before gradually calming. He exhaled a long, heavy breath, which carried a barely perceptible distortion of light and shadow within it. This moment of enlightenment proved to be immensely rewarding. His comprehension of the fourth illustration of the Chaos Light Monument had entered a foundational stage, seamlessly integrating with the preceding 3 illustrations to form a relatively complete cognitive framework. This signified that he had truly taken a substantial stride along the path of merging light with the laws of time and space, transcending mere fragmented techniques. With the entry into the 4th illustration, my foundational understanding of the laws should suffice to enable me to challenge the 7th level of the Celestial Bridge. Feeling the profound insights swelling within his soul, Li Wei's confidence soared. However, he refrained from immediately seeking further challenges, fully aware of the wisdom in not overreaching. The recently attained insights required time to digest and transform into tangible combat prowess. Departing from the city lord's mansion, he returned to the rooftop of his cultivation abode. Instead of hastily venturing out to hunt chaotic beasts, he closed his eyes and sat cross-legged, systematically organizing and solidifying the gains of the past week, striving for a deeper integration of the profound meanings of the Chaos Monument with his own secret techniques. Time swiftly passed, and several months flew by. On this day, Li Wei was endeavoring to incorporate his newly comprehended spatial folding projection techniques into conventional light attacks when suddenly he felt a stirring in his heart and gazed towards the distant sky. There, he spotted a familiar figure, somewhat disheveled, returning from outside the city, landing on the rooftop of a nearby small building. It was Luo Feng. At this moment, Luo Feng's aura was significantly stronger than it had been a decade prior, clearly indicating rapid progress. Yet his brow bore traces of fatigue and gravity, as if he had just endured a grueling battle. Li Wei's heart stirred, and in a flash, he appeared on the rooftop where Luo Feng stood. Luo Feng. Li Wei called out. Luo Feng turned at the sound, and upon seeing Li Wei, a smile graced his face. Li Wei, it's you, he replied, not surprised at Li Wei's silent appearance, for he was well aware of his friend's unfathomable strength. You look like you've just faced a chaotic beast, Li Wei inquired. Luo Feng nodded, letting out a sigh. Indeed, I encountered a formidable second-tier chaotic beast of the domain lord level, which proved quite troublesome. These creatures are tough-skinned and meaty, and their law-based attacks are rather peculiar, making them difficult to handle. He then regarded Li Wei with curiosity. What about you? How have your gains been these past few years? I heard you ventured into the Celestial Bridge. The news had evidently spread within certain circles. Li Wei smiled slightly, not concealing the truth. Yes, I attempted it and passed the 6th level. The 6th level. Even though Luo Feng had been prepared for this news, he was still taken aback, his eyes reflecting astonishment. He was well aware of the challenges posed by the Celestial Bridge and what it meant for someone at the cosmic level to have passed the 6th level. You've truly become more extraordinary. I'm still striving to get through the 4th level. Your 9 universes Chaos Monument encompasses a vast array of knowledge, and your foundation is exceptionally solid. A slower progress in the early stages is entirely normal. It's a matter of accumulating strength for a later explosion of potential. Li Wei remarked objectively. He understood Luo Feng's circumstances and temperament, confident that his future achievements would be remarkable. Thank you for your kind words. Ro Feng smiled faintly before adopting a serious demeanor, stating, however, your challenge has spurred me to double my efforts. I cannot allow myself to fall too far behind you. The two exchanged knowing smiles, a palpable sense of healthy competition blossoming between them. They shared insights on their respective practices, primarily with Ro Feng inquiring about strategies for countering specific law-based attacks, while Li Wei offered advice rooted in his own experiences. Although their paths diverged, the principles of their laws resonated with one another, illuminating new understandings through their dialogue. After this brief exchange, each returned to their own cultivation, fully aware of the preciousness of time in the Chaos City, where not a moment could be squandered. Li Wei returned to his rooftop, gazing out at the vast expanse beyond the city and the eternal rifts of law in the sky, his heart brimming with anticipation. Soon, he would attempt the 7th level. Yet, before that, he required further practical experience to hone his newly acquired techniques. His figure vanished once more, heading towards the territories of the powerful Chaos Beasts. A new chapter of hunting and training commenced, with his objective being to conquer at least the first 10 levels of the Celestial Light Chaos Steel before departing from Chaos City, thoroughly comprehending the initial images to lay the most solid foundation for his future as a formidable warrior. Chapter 56. 30 years of grueling cultivation culminate. The return to Chaos City. Days in Chaos City flowed like water amidst the immersive practice. The rifts of law in the sky continued their eternal dance, while the roars of chaos beasts occasionally echoed across the vast, desolate lands outside the city, only to fade into silence. For those immersed in the ocean of laws, the passage of time often appeared indistinct, with the growth of strength serving as the sole clear measure. Li Wei slowly opened his eyes on the rooftop. The glimmer of galaxies seemingly dissolving within his gaze, the traces of time and space fleeting before him. His aura was harmonious and restrained. Had he not deliberately exuded energy, he would have seemed akin to an ordinary ninth-tier cosmic being. Yet, should a powerful presence be nearby, they would perceive the unfathomable fluctuations of law concealed beneath his calm exterior. 30 years, he whispered softly, a hint of nostalgia in his tone. From the youthful exploration upon his arrival in Chaos City to his steady progress along the path of the celestial light Chaos Steel, 3 decades of arduous cultivation had transformed him profoundly. During this period, he had entered the secret chamber of the Chaos Steel multiple times, exhausting all 6 opportunities. Each session deepened his understanding of the first 4 images, particularly the profound essence of the 4th image regarding light and the interplay of time and space, which was nearing completion. He had even begun to grasp the more grandiose concepts of the 5th image, which involved the evolution of time, space, and light on a cosmic scale, gaining significant insights despite only a limited perspective. In terms of self-created techniques, the methods of light of time and space and curved path leap had reached a state of perfection, wielded effortlessly with power and intricacy far surpassing the past. The arrow of time technique was also nearing completion, with his timing and energy control becoming increasingly precise, and the backlash significantly diminished. More importantly, based on his profound understanding of the 4th image, he had preliminarily crafted the true form of the first move of the Eternal Moment secret technique. Instant light of the universe. This technique does not merely pursue supreme offensive power, rather, it emphasizes absolute control within an exceedingly confined space. It instantaneously creates a singularity of light and space-time, where light halts, time and space solidify, and all things succumb to an absolute stillness. Only the practitioner retains the ability to act. Although the duration it can be maintained is currently fleeting and the range is limited, it has begun to embody a glimpse of eternal moments. Whether employed for lethal strikes, confinement, or defense, it is undeniably a divine skill. The scope of the annihilation domain ultimately stabilizes at 500 meters, with its suppression and obliteration effects deeply intertwined with the laws of space-time and light. Within this domain, he reigns supreme. Of course, the most significant enhancement continues to stem from relentless hunting. Mid to low-tier chaotic beasts of the domain master level have become his regular hunting targets. The vast influx of chaotic true spirits has augmented his soul's essence by over 10-fold, bringing the clarity of his perception of the laws to an astonishing level. Furthermore, the accumulation of realm value derived from absorbing countless attacks has reached an astronomical figure, sufficient to support his energy accumulation needs for a considerable duration to come. He has also challenged the Celestial Bridge once more. In his 15th year of cultivation, he effortlessly surpassed the 7th layer. By the 20th year, he surged through the 8th and 9th layers in one go. Merely months ago, he narrowly traversed the 10th layer using the newly conceptualized Instant Light Universe prototype. At the cosmic level, the 10th layer of the Celestial Bridge. This news, even within the confines of the Virtual Universe Company, accustomed to prodigies, stirred a notable commotion. It signified that Li Wei had surpassed the vast majority of peak domain masters in his comprehension of the laws, even rivaling some of the weaker realm lords. His status as a member of the original secret realm is well-deserved. On this day, Li Wei received a formal notification from the Virtual Universe Company, prompted by an inner sense. Your Excellency Li Wei, your 30-year cultivation period in the initial universe's Chaotic City is nearing its conclusion. According to regulations, you are required to leave Chaotic City and return to the company headquarters within 1 year. The transport ship will arrive punctually in 1 year to escort you. Please utilize this final year to properly organize your cultivation achievements. Upon returning to headquarters, a subsequent training plan and resource allocation will be arranged for you. 30 years. Is it finally coming to an end? Li Wei gazed at the email, feeling little turbulence within, only a serene acceptance of inevitability. He understood that Chaotic City was merely the starting point of his path to strength, not the terminus. In this final year, he did not deliberately seek to hunt chaotic beasts or challenge higher tiers of the Celestial Bridge. Instead, he devoted all his energy to consolidating and distilling the myriad gains from these 30 years. He endeavored to integrate the insights from the Chaotic Steel, the secret techniques he had created, and his combat experiences, ensuring they became an inseparable part of his intrinsic power. He would occasionally engage in discussions with contemporaries such as Luo Feng, and Rongjun. Luo Feng also advanced with remarkable speed. Although his level of comprehension of the laws slightly lagged behind Li Wei, his solid foundation and unwavering will left Li Wei quietly impressed. Rongjun, on the other hand, pursued a ferocious path as a great axe warrior, exuding a formidable presence. It is well known that parting is imminent. The future may bring comradeship or rivalry. And this final gathering has taken on a certain purity. A year has passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, a familiar, Sword-shaped F-class spacecraft pierced through the membrane of the primordial universe, gently descending onto the landing pad of Chaos City. Awaiting to receive him was the immortal deity, Candelri. Your Highness Li Wei, it has been 30 years. Your charisma surpasses that of your. Candelri, sensing the profound essence of laws emanating from Li Wei, exhibited a flicker of astonishment in his eyes, his tone becoming increasingly courteous. It was evident he had heard of Li Wei's remarkable achievement in traversing the 10th layer of the Celestial Bridge. Thank you, Candelri, Li Wei replied with a smile. There was no elaborate farewell. The practitioners of Chaos City had long grown accustomed to comings and goings. Li Wei cast one last glance at this ancient city that had bestowed upon him boundless creation, at the figures still seated in meditation upon the terrace, and at the eternally shifting rifts of law in the sky. Then, resolutely, he turned and stepped aboard the welcoming spacecraft. As the hatch closed, the vessel slowly ascended, heading towards the passage that would lead them away from the primordial universe. After experiencing the disorienting sensation of temporal distortion once more, the spacecraft jolted, returning to the original universe. Through the porthole, the vast expanse of the headquarters of the Virtual Universe Company came into view. Your Highness, we have returned to the original universe, Candelri announced. Next, we shall proceed directly to your residence in the primitive zone. The company has prepared the resources necessary for you to break through to the 9th tier of the cosmic level, which will be available for your use upon arrival. Li Wei nodded. It was time to elevate his realm. His current cosmic level 1st tier was no longer commensurate with his understanding of the laws, severely limiting his potential. The spacecraft traversed the skies above the headquarters continent, swiftly arriving at the primitive zone, corresponding to the rain-soaked mountain estate in the virtual universe. His real-world residence was equally an expansive and exquisitely outfitted luxury manor. As Li Wei settled in, a steward clad in white robes respectfully delivered a sealed metal box. Your Highness, this is the purple essence spirit liquid prepared for you by the company, sufficient to elevate your genetic primordial energy and mental force to the peak of the cosmic level 9th tier in a short time. The method of use and precautions are embedded within the chip inside the box. Impressive efficiency, Li Wei remarked, receiving the metal box and gesturing for the steward to withdraw. Opening the box, he discovered 9 crystal vials exuding a dreamlike purple glow, each pulsating with astonishing energy. This was the handiwork of the Virtual Universe Company, resources of incalculable value, provided free of charge to core members. Without hesitation, Li Wei followed the instructions and directly injected a vial of the purple essence spirit liquid. Boom! An unparalleled surge of pure energy flooded into his limbs and bones, each cell greedily absorbing this vitality, as if it were rain after a long drought. His genetic primordial energy and mental force expanded and solidified at an unprecedented speed, ascending through the cosmic levels, 2nd, 3rd, 4th tier. Propelled by this immense resource, his realm skyrocketed like a rocket, consuming vial after vial of the purple essence spirit liquid, his aura steadily rising. As the potency of the 9th essence fluid was fully absorbed, Li Wei gradually opened his eyes, feeling within him the surging primordial energy of genes, as turbulent as rivers and as vast as the starry sea. An unprecedented sense of power welled up within him. He had reached the cosmic level pinnacle of the 9th tier. The accumulation of quantity, facilitated by the resources of the Virtual Universe Company, was completed in an instant. At this moment, his comprehension of the laws had ascended to the 10th level of the Celestial Bridge, comparable to an ordinary realm lord. While his realm stood at the cosmic level pinnacle of the 9th tier, his physical strength and mental power had both reached a state of saturation for his current level. The combination of the two had catapulted his true combat prowess to a terrifying degree. With his unbreakable system defenses and the enigmatic secret arts he had devised, even in the face of a realm lord-level adversary, he would not be without the capacity to fight back. 30 years in Chaos City had come to a perfect conclusion. Li Wei stood at the center of the training ground in the estate, his gaze seemingly penetrating the void, beholding a broader stage ahead. Within the core echelon of the Virtual Universe Company, amidst the myriad races vying for supremacy in the vast cosmos, in a world teeming with formidable beings, he, Li Wei, was about to formally step into this realm. His subsequent task was to familiarize himself with the headquarters environment, to undertake cosmic-level training missions, and through the true trials of life and death, to thoroughly digest all he had gained in Chaos City, while striving for higher realms, domain lord, realm lord, and even immortality. Chapter 57. Dimensions expanding to the universe realm, 1,000,000 points to select treasures with diligence. In the exclusive area for members of the original secret realm at the headquarters of the Virtual Universe Company, a vast estate that resembled a miniature planet housed a training ground equipped with top-tier law sensing and energy-gathering devices. In this expansive space, Li Wei slowly opened his eyes. In an instant, the cosmic energy flowing throughout the training ground seemed to momentarily pause, as if drawn by an invisible force. The aura that had surged around him due to his recent breakthrough had now completely retracted, becoming harmonious and unified. To an untrained observer, he could easily be mistaken for an ordinary cosmic level 9th tier. Yet, deep within his calm gaze, countless tiny points of light flickered, the trajectories of time and space becoming faintly discernible, revealing the extraordinary transformation of his soul essence after 30 years in Chaos City, especially following the nourishment from the vast Chaos True Spirits. The cosmic level pinnacle of the 9th tier had finally reached saturation through the accumulation of quantity. Li Wei felt the boundless primordial energy of genes surging within him, as well as the mental power, solidified to the point that it could overturn mountains and seas with a mere thought. A sense of unprecedented strength filled his entire being. This sensation differed from the qualitative change experienced during breakthroughs facilitated by the system. It was an ultimate fulfillment of quantity, a solidification of foundation. He did not rush to test his strength. Instead, he first immersed his mind into the most mysterious space within him, the dimensional space that coexisted with the essence of his soul. This space had quietly awakened since his breakthrough to the planetary level, akin to a seed sprouting. With each astonishing leap in his life level, from stellar to cosmic, this space had been continuously growing and expanding. Now, with the rare resource of the violet essence fluid provided by the Virtual Universe Company, he had ascended to the cosmic level pinnacle of the 9th tier, triggering a profound transformation in the dimensional space. At the moment of consciousness intrusion, even Li Wei, who had long since acclimatized to his growth, could not help but be astounded. Vast, boundless. The dimensions, length, width, and height, each reached an astonishing 100,000 kilometers. What an immense concept this is. The Earth's diameter is merely over 12,000 kilometers, yet the length of this dimensional space is nearly 8 times that of the Earth's diameter. Its total volume is sufficient to comfortably encompass hundreds of Earths, while still appearing spacious and expansive. The interior of the space is not entirely void. The edges flow gently like chaotic currents, emanating a hazy halo, forming an exceedingly stable barrier, as if it were a realm unto itself. At the center of this space, suspended, are some significant items he had long stored within, such as the remaining vials of purple spirit essence, various special materials collected from the chaotic city, and some cosmic currency, all appearing as insignificant as dust against this grand backdrop. The connection to this space is profoundly intimate, more fluid than the control of his own limbs. Accessing items requires merely a thought, without any hindrance. More importantly, its absolute privacy and security far surpass any external storage ring. This is uniquely his, a nascent inner world that evolves with his growing power. A dimensional space with a 100,000-kilometer edge length. It is no longer merely a convenience for storage. Li Wei's thoughts raced. Should he encounter formidable foes in the future? Could he perhaps use this to maneuver? Could he even develop other applications? He sensed that the potential of this innate ability is vast, far beyond mere storage. As his realm advances and the space expands once more, it might indeed evolve into a complete and genuine world. Withdrawing his consciousness from the dimensional space, Li Wei calmed his emotions and connected to the virtual cosmic network. Within the study of Manor 114 in the primitive zone of Yuxiang Mountain, the environment was tranquil and elegant, with a simulated vast sea of stars visible outside. Welcome back, Your Highness. The gentle and respectful voice of the Manor's intelligent life form resonated immediately, detecting a significant enhancement in your power. Congratulations, Your Highness. You have new notifications regarding changes in points, as well as several important emails from the Cultivation Department and the Logistics Department. Display the details of my points, Li Wei instructed. The screen before him illuminated instantly, clearly presenting the detailed points information. Your Highness, congratulations on successfully passing the 10th level of the Bridge to Heaven. According to the special rule of receiving a tenfold points reward for passing the Bridge to Heaven within 30 years in the Chaotic City, your levels passed and corresponding reward points are as follows. Passing the first level, reward points, 100 points x 10,1,000 points. Passing the second level, additional reward points, 200 points x 10,2,000 points. Passing the third level, additional reward points, 400 points x 10,4,000 points. Passing the fourth level, additional reward points, 800 points x 10,8,000 points. Passing the fifth level, additional reward points, 600 points x 10,16,000 points. Passing the sixth level, additional reward points, 200 points x 10,32,000 points. Upon traversing the 7th tier, a reward of 400 points was granted, culminating in a total of 64,000 points. Advancing through the 8th tier yielded an additional 12,800 points, bringing the total to 128,000 points. The 9th tier conferred a reward of 25,600 points, amounting to 256,000 points. Finally, the 10th tier bestowed 51,200 points, resulting in a grand total of 512,000 points. The cumulative reward points for the Celestial Bridge amounted to an impressive 1,023,000 points. Your existing balance stood at 20,010 points, initially 100,000 points, with 10 points from the Genius Battle Settlement and 80,000 points from purchasing mystical methods. Thus, your current total points reached an astonishing 1,043,010, surpassing 1,043,000. Even though Li Wei possessed a calm demeanor, his breath momentarily quickened upon witnessing this figure. This was undoubtedly a substantial fortune. Many domain master-level powerhouses toil for countless years, yet few could amass such wealth. This not only represented the generous investment of the Virtual Universe company in top-tier talents, but also reflected the resources earned through his own strength, which would directly facilitate his future growth. Without further hesitation, Li Wei promptly accessed the treasury system of the Virtual Universe company. Instantly, an extensive list of items appeared before him, meticulously categorized, from mystical methods to weaponry, from battle armor to potions, and from technological armaments to rare materials. A dazzling array that was almost overwhelming. His purchasing objectives were clear and prioritized. The foremost target, defensive battle armor. The damage absorption conversion system was his absolute trump card and must remain concealed. Thus, acquiring a sufficiently powerful